Okay, good evening, everyone. I have 7 o'clock, so I will call the regular town council meeting of June 10th, 2026 to order. I have a couple of amendments to the agenda. Under item F, I would like to add a number 2 for Mattabassett update, under mayor's update. And then under new business, in lieu of none, I'd like to add an item 1, which is discussion and possible action on Eversource rate increases. So those are the only 2 proposals that I have. And then actually I have one other one. And then under J, item 1, I'd like to just add update on discussions regarding Cromwell Fish and Game Club collaboration with the police department. So those are my 3 proposals for additions. Any discussion on that or any other additions that anyone on the council would like to propose?
Could you repeat the second one that you mentioned?
Sure.
Mattabassett and Cromwell.
Yep. So Mattabassett, under J, item 1 would be discussion on collaboration between the police department and the Cromwell Fish and Game Club. And then under N, new item 1 would be discussion and possible action on the Eversource rate increases. Thank you. N as in Nicholas, 1. So with that, I'll take a motion to amend the agenda. Great. And I will take, all those in favor of amending the agenda, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. And then can I have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. And now, for those of you who are able to stand, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, which I will ask Ms. Hulick to guide us in. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so the agenda's been approved and amended. We'll now move on to commission chairman reports and staff reports. In your packet, you have reports from the library director. I've been asked to just give highlights from these. They're in your packet, but for the members of the public, the library went live with their new electronic system. They have a number of events coming up, including a kickoff concert, Sister Funk, on June 17th. And they have a new employee, Gordon Kent, who will be joining on June 8th. And as well, they are going to be having quail eggs coming soon. Our planning and development director has a fairly lengthy report in your packet, including updates to conversations with 100 Berlin Road, updates on some of the bills that got passed during this legislative session, updates with different various meetings that he attended over the course of the month, coordination with DEEP on projects. The Complete Streets plan is moving ahead. That is the plan that is going to be involving connectivity of our sidewalks and bike paths and pedestrian paths and all those things. So we, 2 years ago, allocated money for a Safe Streets plan, and so that is moving into phase 2. And then he updates about the existing expansion of the existing community garden and a pollinator pathway. And I think we'll talk about this later, but also a sustainable CT bronze certification has been awarded to the town. In the Human Services Director report, she has updates on the different trainings that she's done in the last month, as well as the fact that they have the mental health awareness art installation with the high school students in the town hall lobby, and the continued voucher program and rebate programs that are going on right now through her office. And the Prevention Council is continuing to do its advertisement. If you can't buy it, don't supply it. And we thank them for their efforts. So those are all the staff reports that we have in the file. So if there are any commission chairman reports, then I'll accept liaison reports at this time as well. Mr. Matt.
I got a lot of stuff. Evening, folks. Matthew Zabrowski, Board of Education. Just giving you a couple of quick updates. Last I was here, I think I was reporting on the fact that we were in the midst of a superintendent search. We have identified that person. They have accepted, and they will begin on July 27th. We did have to get an interim superintendent in the meantime. Dr. Enza Macri, who is retiring, her retirement's effective on June 30th. So we had kind of a space there of 27, 28 days, and we have to have someone in there. So we have gone with Ms. Bennington, who's over at WIS. So she has an 093, which is a certification. So she'll be in place during that month to handle her responsibilities as superintendent. And by all reports, she's very excited to do it and appreciates the opportunity. So the superintendent we identified is Mike Lucas. I can't get into too many details because of the confidentiality of the process, but I can tell you we had a really good pool of candidates to choose from. It was a really difficult choice. A lot of very highly qualified individuals, a lot of experience. Mike is going to be coming to us from Oxford, Mass, where he is currently serving as their superintendent. He has already begun to kind of participate in some of the things, sitting in on interviews for other processes and so forth. He's really excited, and we're really excited to have him as the next leader of our schools. So any questions on that? Great. We are also currently looking for a Cromwell Middle School principal. That's in process. Although I do expect that we will be concluding that process and making a formal announcement within the next week or so. And we are also looking for a finance director. That is in process as well. So that's a little bit behind the CMS principal one in terms of timeline, but we're pretty confident we're making headway there. Any questions on those? Fantastic. I love when there's no questions. The last time I was here, there was a question on some of the language for a CNR policy. We did discuss that at our last Board of Education meeting. There was a motion to vote to endorse it. There was a second. There was some discussion among the group. The second was withdrawn, and the motion died at that point. The discussion centered around some of the process and procedures in which the language was developed. There was some concern with the language itself that was brought forth. I think Mayor Dimitrios, you're aware of that. So, we're hoping that that'll get cleaned up a little bit. I don't, from the discussion, I don't think there was anyone who was necessarily against, the idea behind it. But I think it was a matter of how it came into existence and just kind of tweaking the language a little bit. I did get a sense that some board members may have felt that the board might be a little bit excluded from the process more than they wanted to be, so just be aware of that.
Could you ask the board members at your next meeting if they'd be willing to provide, alternative versions that they'd like to have considered, or, if they have specific edits or changes, what those would be and how they would like it worded? That way we can make sure we're taking all their feedback into account.
I can certainly ask that that be added to the agenda, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Or if you even have your policy subcommittee, if they want to do it, whoever wants to do it, if one of the groups want to just give us suggestions, we're happy to take suggestions.
Sure, we appreciate it.
Exactly what's the problem? Where are they hung up on?
So there was a couple things that were brought up. One of them was the process by which the policy came, the proposed language for the, I guess procedure is more correct than policy, but the language in which it came into existence. The committee that developed it is an advisory-only committee. So there was a question about whether or not they had been directed to make a recommendation about language for a procedure or policy. There was a view, and I'll own it, it's my view, that direction should have come from this body instead of that committee. Or that this body may direct that committee to develop the language, but that hadn't taken place. So it was more of a process that the language came from a committee that's really advisory only in nature. That was one thing. The other thing was, again, there was kind of a view that the board is a pretty significant stakeholder in this process, and the board, there was a couple of people who expressed concern that the board seemed a little bit excluded from the process of making those decisions on how that situation would be handled. Does that help?
Just quick, Lee.
Yeah, you're fine.
You realize that if you go to CNR, the process, the council, the Board of Finance, let's say you ask for $100,000 and you get it. The project you're doing only turns out to be 80,000, and 20,000's left over, you realize that goes by charter, that goes back to the CNR account. It's not money to spend. However, you could go back to the council and then the Board of Finance and ask for that 20,000 if you had a project.
Right, and ask for
But
it
it's
to be
not automatic money that belongs to the BOE. I heard that's one of their concerns.
I don't know that that specifically is a concern, honestly. I think it was more of, it really had more to do with where the policy came from, in that it may have been developed without following proper procedures.
Okay, thank you.
But are they concerned with the actual policy or just how it came about?
No, I didn't get that. I didn't get that vibe. I don't think anyone's against the idea behind it. I don't think anyone's against that. I think it's some of the language and like Mayor Dimitriadis said, more kind of tweaking that. There was a discussion about the word may versus shall, and it was. So initially it was more favorably received, and then after the discussion, a couple people kind of backed off and said, let's hold on this for now. Again, I don't think there's anyone who's outright against the idea or the proposal. I just think that there's some swimming around it. The idea of was this looked at and investigated as far as do other towns do it this way? If so, what's been their experience? Has it been a positive thing? That sort of thing. So it had a lot to do with those factors.
Yeah, and just for procedural history, when we had and I think you're familiar with the history of this, when the air conditioning units came in under, it was something that came in that was originally budgeted at like 80 or 90, and it came in at, it was the lights.
It was lights.
When the lights were budgeted at 80 or 90 and they came in at 19, there was a question about what should be the next project that is selected, and we were presented with two projects that weren't on our year's priority list, and we were kind of questioning why those were the items that were chosen. Those were the items that were chosen.
And rightfully so. And again, I don't think anyone's against
Yeah,
that.
and we had asked the Facility and Asset Committee, which has a Board of Ed rep, me and the chair of the Board of Ed, to look at, like, is there a better way to do this? And then they came back with language that the town manager and I reviewed. We made suggestions for changes. Then we had our other meeting. You weren't aware of the language, so I said, let's go ahead and bring this back to the Board of Ed. So hopefully at this point that clarifies the process. So if they have suggestions, the board has suggestions, if you want to get them back to us for our July meeting.
We have a meeting coming up, and I can ask it.
Yeah, because my goal would be to have like a common understanding of what happens to residuals as we move into a new fiscal year.
And I don't think anyone disagrees with that
Yeah.
at all.
So whatever, if there's specific tweaks, like whatever they are, just pass them back to us for July if possible.
I will ask that it be added to the agenda for discussion.
Thank you. Any other questions for Matt? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Matt.
I got a couple more
You got
items.
a couple more items?
I
Go
got a
ahead.
couple
Sorry,
more. I
sorry,
got some-
sorry.
I
We
got some
interrupted
good
you.
stuff.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow is graduation, right? The best day of the year. So we will be celebrating our graduates. All schools will have their last days on June 17th. And then some really good news, CMS students produced a video piece for Fox 61 Student News, where the competitive prize was $500, and they won.
Nice.
Excellent.
They actually did a news story called A Stage with a Story, and it was a piece about a little bit about the new CMS building, but it specifically looked at the naming of the auditorium after Michael Camilleri, the former board chair, who was quite dedicated to the arts, and they also included in that that his daughter is now the chorus teacher and making full use of that of the facility that is named after her father. So it was a really good piece. You can find it on YouTube if you're interested. The kids did a great job with it, and they were awarded the $500 award for winning the best piece. So
That's great.
congratulations
That's
to
fantastic. Congratulations to them.
So the other thing I want to bring up, and we should have more numbers on this coming up pretty soon. We don't have numbers yet because they're kind of kept under lock and key, but we're hearing, and I don't want to get your hopes up too high, but we are hearing that the district performed really well on SATs this year. So lots of good news happening as we wind down the school year and transition to new leadership.
Great.
Anything else for me?
Not on my end. Anybody else in the council?
Do you anticipate needing me for any further items up here tonight?
Do you want to stay for any of the middle school building committee?
I'd be
items?
happy to. I'll probably excuse myself after that if it's okay.
Yep.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you. Any other commission chairmans that are here that would like to provide a report? I don't see any, but unless, Jay, is there anything from economic development that you want us, I know you're on the commission.
I have nothing what we can present our,
Okay,
back
well-
to Mr. Barlotta at this time, if you'd like, Mr. Mayor.
Let me do them in the order that they're in the agenda. But yes, we will move on then to proclamation presentation. So we have 3 proclamations this evening. The first one should say Alan Nelson, not Gary Allen. This proclamation was orally transmitted at a Sunday service recently, but is being formally presented today to the pastor of the Bethany Lutheran Congregational Church, who is accepting on behalf of Mr. Nelson. So, Pastor, if you want to go to the podium or the dais there, what I'll do is I will read the proclamation, and then if you want to give some words about Mr. Nelson and his contributions to the pastoral community after I read the proclamation, that'd be great.
Awesome.
Okay. Whereas Alan Nelson has enriched the lives of countless individuals through his faith, leadership, music, and service throughout his remarkable 93 years. Whereas, as the longtime minister of music for Bethany Lutheran Church in Cromwell, Alan has shared his extraordinary musical gifts with generations of worshipers, helping inspire faith, fellowship, and community. And whereas, as a talented organist and singer, Alan's music has brought joy and inspiration to many. Whereas, Alan distinguished himself professionally as the vice president of Cigna, demonstrating exceptional leadership, wisdom, and dedication. And whereas his insight and counsel has earned him the trust of the Lutheran bishops, for which he served as a valued consultant and advisor. Whereas Alan Nelson's life reflects a steadfast commitment to the service, excellence, and well-being of others, making him a treasured member of the Cromwell community. Now, therefore, I, James Demetriadis, Mayor of the Town of Cromwell, on behalf of the Town of Cromwell, proclaim May 31st, 2026 as Alan Nelson Day in the Town of Cromwell, and encourage all residents to recognize and celebrate his many contributions, achievements, and lasting impact he made on our community as he enters retirement from his position as the Minister of Music at Bethany Lutheran Church. So on behalf of the entire Town Council, congratulations, Mr. Nelson, on a career and a lifetime of joy. And let me present this to you, and then we'll go to any comments you have.
Thank you.
So we have to have Cromwell. Hey, you got the thumbs up. And then any comments you'd like to give about Mr. Nelson?
Well, Mr. Nelson is unable to be here tonight, and he regrets that just because his health is such that he needs to stay at Covenant Living for the evening. But this means the world to him, and his response when I read this, his response was, "Wow." And if you know Alan can go on for a little while, but he didn't. He just said, "Wow." He was overcome. So thank you. This means the world.
Thank you. And, a longtime member of the community deserves to be recognized. So thank him for everything that he does and will continue to do.
Yes.
He'll be in our thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we will move on to our businesses of the quarter. We are presenting 2 Business of the Quarter awards this evening to Cromwell Growers and Schofield Landscape Contractors. So if the representatives of both organizations would like to come up to the podium, we will begin the ceremony. Okie dokie. So we'll start with Cromwell Growers. Everybody knows Cromwell Growers. However, let me read the proclamation, and then we can go to the accolades that Cromwell Growers rightfully deserves. Whereas Cromwell Growers has proudly served the town of Cromwell and the surrounding community for 35 years with dedication, professionalism, and a commitment to excellence. Whereas since its founding, Cromwell Growers has contributed to the beauty, vitality, and strength of the community through horticultural services, landscaping expertise, and a strong commitment to customer service. Whereas locally owned and operated businesses such as Cromwell Growers are essential to the economic strength, character, and sense of community within the town of Cromwell. Whereas over the last 3.5 decades, Cromwell Growers has built a lasting relationship with residents, businesses, and organizations while demonstrating a continued investment in the town of Cromwell. And whereas the town of Cromwell recognizes and appreciates the hard work, perseverance of the owners, employees, and families who have contributed to the continued success, I now therefore do proclaim and recognize Cromwell Growers in celebration of their 35th anniversary and extend sincere appreciation for their many years of service and commitment to the community as one of our 2 businesses of the quarter for 2026. Okay, I think we have another plaque, a second plaque to give you as well.
Right.
From Mr. Papa.
This is from the Economic Development Commission, and the plaque says, Town Economic Development Commission of Cromwell, Certificate of Business Excellence, Business Longevity, and Community Achievement, proudly presents to Cromwell Growers 35 years of distinguished service, Cromwell, Connecticut, in recognition of 35 years of dedicated business operation, outstanding commitment to the Cromwell community, and exemplary contributions to the local economy. James Demetriadis, Mayor, Town of Cromwell. Steve Fortenbach, Chair, Economic Development Commission, June 10, 2026.
Thank you. One more. Great. Would you like to make any comments to the public?
Not much of a speaker.
You or as many as you'd like.
It's, when I started the company, I named it Cromwell Growers. I've lived in Cromwell my whole life, and Cromwell's a big part of me, and everybody in the industry knows me as Eddie Cromwell. They think that's my last name. And it's really, there's a great staff. It's at the town hall now, and it's over the years, I mean, I've been through it for a long time, even before I've owned the company. And I saw a change, and you get more, where it's a pleasure to deal with them now. It's not something that I'm afraid to do. When we're building, we come in and have a meeting first with all the heads and go over it and say, what do you want us to do? What do we do? So when we do it, it's right. So, but I want to thank you very much for this honor.
And then our second business of the quarter is Scoville Landscape Contractors. Is there a representative from Scoville?
No, they couldn't make it this evening.
Okay, so I will read their proclamation. Stuart, will you accept the proclamation and plaque on their behalf?
I'll pass it on to them tomorrow.
Great. Whereas Scoville Landscaping Contractors has proudly served the town of Cromwell and the surrounding communities for 54 years with exceptional dedication, craftsmanship, and professionalism throughout more than 5 decades in business, Scoville Landscaping Contractors has earned a reputation for quality, community pride, and a steadfast commitment to enhancing the natural beauty of the region. Family-owned and community-centered businesses such as Scoville Landscaping play a vital role in maintaining our economic and civic strength as a town. The company's longevity and success reflect their hard work, integrity, dedication of their owners, employees, and supporters throughout the year, and we are proud to recognize them as the other business of the quarter and celebrate their 54th anniversary here in town, dated this 10th day of June 2026 by myself, Mayor, Town of Cromwell.
Saving me the walk around, so there you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we, Mr. Popper, you also have a plaque that will be presented to them as well?
Yes, yeah, we'll be there tomorrow morning.
Wonderful. And Mr. Bartolotta, to Scoville as well, I know if they're listening, small businesses are the backbone of our economy and of our town and the character of our town. And especially those that are involved in horticulture or landscaping or in making our town look more beautiful. It's so important. The history of our town is of a farming and growing town. Cromwell Growers inherits kind of the heritage of the former Pearson Rose facilities and has made it continued into the 21st century, where a lot of farms are folding up, where a lot of businesses are being corporatized and being bought out by the big guys. We are very proud of our tradition here in town, and we believe that businesses like these are cornerstone businesses and keystone businesses upon which and from which the rest of our culture and our economy derives from. It's not the Texas Roadhouses or the Popeyes, or that's not what makes the town's economy vital. It's businesses like yours. And so we are here to be your partners. We are here to celebrate you and celebrate everything that you do, and be here however we can to make sure that you survive another 35, 65, 100 years. So in 100 years' time, Edward Bartolotta Jr., the 12th, is still happy with flowers in town and shipping them all across the region and the country. And same thing with Scoville Landscaping, generations of people in their homes, making sure that they have beautiful homes and good irrigation and everything else. And, we plant seeds, and we plant the seeds that we will never see grow all the way. And I think it's a dedication to the importance of these types of businesses. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, so now I will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the mayor's update. I'll begin with just some generic updates. Earlier in the month, I attended the a press conference where we unveiled our new signs for people who are needing to get assistance and help, the 288 signs that are now up and around different town parks. And that was very, very well received. I attended the Board of Education meeting for a farewell for Dr. Macri, as well as welcoming the new superintendent. And we look forward to a continued partnership with the new superintendent. We also met with the Board of Ed chairwoman, the superintendent, the finance director, to discuss the financial results of the 2026 legislative session and how Board of Finance chose to use the residual funds in order to reduce the mill rate, and explained how that process worked and how we followed the statute, because there were some questions about how the statute worked and what the statute should have been for and should not have been for. And based off of the information we had discussed that with the super. But moving to a more celebratory note, Cromwell is about to celebrate its 175th anniversary. And I'm not going to pronounce the fancy Latin word that is the dodecacentenarian something. I'm looking at Richard Donahue back there. I can't pronounce it. But in celebration of it, this is going to be our closest town meeting to the original town meeting, which occurred in June of 1851. And so I'm going to recognize our town historian, Richard Donahue, to come up and give some remarks. There is in the lobby of Town Hall a placard that we had made at the library to recognize the event. If any businesses are going to be doing a 175th anniversary celebration from June of this year to June of next year, please let us know so we can promote it. We're very excited that this is also coinciding with the 250th of our nation. So that makes it easy. If you want to know how old Cromwell is, just subtract 50 from whatever 4th of July it is. But Mr. Donahue, floor is yours.
Dodran's Bicentennial.
One more time in the mic.
Dodran's Bicentennial.
There you go.
Yep, there you go. Perfect. So yes, we are celebrating that anniversary, and of course that coincides with the semi-quincentennial of the United States. And I think it's a perfect thing for us to celebrate or commemorate both of those things at the same time, because the founding of the United States is what led a certain group of people in Middletown upper houses to feel that they could have a stake in independence, and that movement for our own independence grew when we founded our independence of the country as well. So I thought I would read the original petition from the people of the Middletown upper houses asking the state of Connecticut to recognize the village as its own town, and then some of the proclamation from the state creating. Yes, I'd like to read that. I have a nicely retyped version that is much easier to read. To the Honorable General Assembly of the State of Connecticut, to be holden at Hartford in said state on the first Wednesday of May in the year of our Lord 1851. The petition of the undersigned inhabitants and electors of that part of the town of Middletown in Middlesex County in said state, known as the North Society in said Middletown or Upper Middletown, respectfully represent that said society is north of the Seventhie or Little River in said town, that it contains a population of about 1,300 inhabitants, that there is often great difficulty in intercourse between the said North Society and the city of Middletown, where the public business of the town is done, that the Seventhie River, which divides the Upper or North Society from the more southerly part of said town, is often so swollen, especially in the spring months, as to preclude communication except under circumstances of great inconvenience, often attended with danger. That of the public money derived from taxation and other sources, the North Society is not the recipient of the proportion to which the said society is justly entitled. That by reason of management or mismanagement, the interests of the North Society are neglected, particularly in regard to roads, and the inhabitants and traveling public seriously incommoded thereby. They therefore pray that said North Society in the said town of Middletown may be by the General Assembly constituted and organized as a distinct town to be called Cromwell, and be entitled to all the franchises, privileges, and immunities appertaining to the towns of the state. Dated at Middletown this 18th day of March in the year of our Lord, 1851. Nearly 3 months later, on June 13th, the General Assembly passed the following act incorporating the town of Cromwell. Upon the petition of Elijah Treat and others, inhabitants of Middletown in the county of Middlesex, praying for reasons therein set forth, that said town of Middletown be divided and a new town be incorporated therefrom. Resolved by this assembly that all the part of that town of Middletown lying northerly and easterly of the Connecticut River, the Seventhie or Little River, and between the towns of Berlin and Middletown, is hereby incorporated into a separate town to be known and called by the name of Cromwell. And the inhabitants and their successors forever residing or belonging within said limits shall have, retain, and enjoy all the rights, powers, privileges, and immunities enjoyed by, belonging to, or incident to any other town in the state. The act was passed on June 13th, but the governor was not able to sign the bill until 5 days later on June 18th. The following Monday, the Hartford Courant reported that the citizens of Cromwell manifested their delight on Wednesday evening upon attaining the dignity of a free and independent township by the firing of guns, burning of tar barrels, and sundry other demonstrations usual upon such an occasion.
Did you say tar barrels?
Tar barrels, yes. Barrels of tar, and they would hold them up in the air and then go down the street. It must have been quite a sight. But I suspect our celebration will
Who
be
doesn't
somewhat
burn a
different.
celebratory tar barrel every now and then?
Yes, Mr. Town Manager.
Mr. Historian, was the taxpayers of the town of Cromwell, did they choose Cromwell as the name to be sent to Hartford?
That is an excellent question. No, the original name, believe it or not, this petition was filled out at first with the name Hamlin written in. And in subsequent meetings, they decided they really didn't like that. That was named after the first official mayor of the town of Middletown itself. And then they subsequently held several meetings where I think they discussed 26 different names. Most of them were North Middletown, Upper Middletown. There were things like Newport, Home. Imagine living in a town called Home. You're the mayor of Home, you know. And they ultimately settled on Upper Middletown. And then somehow, nobody really knows how, but the representative to the legislature from the Middletown Upper Houses on his way to Hartford hastily scratched out Upper Middletown and wrote Cromwell in after, I believe he was quite a fan of the Lord Protector of the Commonwealth. So that is how we if you'd like to hear the entire story, the most recent copy of Cromwell Life has a detailed explanation of how that all took place.
I love it.
It's great.
Thank you for reading those. I think that was really fun and joyous. I know as part of the Town of Cromwell Riverport Festival, there will be more festivities celebrating the 250th of the country as well as the 175th of the town, and there are additional festivities planned for that time. But as we approach our 175th year, thank you for your steadfast commitment to our town's history and celebrating our town's history. I think as you hear from that petition, it sounds like we were very good at complaining back then, and we're still very good about complaining right now. So
Issues haven't changed that much.
issues haven't changed. The roads. What else did they say? So I think the river, the roads. It sounds very Cromwell. It sounds like we're still on the same track. So we're always pushing for better. So thank you, Mr. Historian, for that, and thank you for joining us in the celebration. I will have the handwritten photocopy that we had made available at the library. If people want to be able to review it themselves, I think it's quite a bit of fun. Yeah, in this version, it still says Hamlin. That's so
It's
interesting.
the original copy, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Just sounds different, doesn't it?
Yeah, Hamlin. I don't like that.
The Hamlin Panthers, I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for your constant support and love of the history of our town.
And how's our well, while you're here, how's the preparations for the various 250th events? I saw you were going to be singing inside a prison soon.
You make it sound so bad. Yeah, I'll be performing some Revolutionary War music up at Newgate Prison. Yeah,
Great.
As part of that. But we are putting the finishing touches right now on our Cromwell public reading of the Declaration of Independence. We have more than 50 people that are going to be reading a single line from the Declaration, and there's going to be the high school choirs are singing in the background, and it's going to be, I think, a unique project that's really going to put us on the map as far as these commemorations go. So we have a whole list of things that we'll be doing over the coming year.
Thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you.
And next I'll move on to item F2, which is the Mattabasset update. I received some complaints earlier this month about odors from the Mattabasset facility. I had invited Art Simone to come to this meeting tonight. Unfortunately, he was not able to come. So for next steps moving forward, what I'm going to do is meet with him and his staff with the town manager in July. We're circulating dates for that, and then I would like him to come back to the council and present on the updates to our meeting that we had almost 2 years ago now, where we had been asking for updates related to their improvement plans that they were making. As of note, one of the things that I was concerned about and wanted to learn more about is they're now burning 400 tons of sludge in their incinerator each month, and that is a significant amount of tonnage of sludge. I want to make sure that I understand what mitigation efforts are being put into place to make sure that A, it's not causing air pollution, but B, that it's not having any adverse impacts on the residents or the neighbors. I did receive a couple complaints from last week's farmers market. They sent staff out to it. Mr. Simone has been sending me daily updates now on odor checks, but as I posted on social media, and I'll say here, the best thing to do is if you are seeing, or not seeing, if you're smelling something, to call Mattabasset and file a complaint immediately. Emailing me for me to see it an hour or two later to then email them, but normally by then the odor has dissipated or it's moved on. Calling them at the time is the most effective way to get live feedback. They're supposed to send somebody out to do live testing. Our residents deserve clean air. Our residents deserve not to have the nuisance of odors. These facilities are not supposed to have nuisance odors, and so we want to make sure that as our community partners that we're holding them accountable, they're holding us accountable, that we are mutually supporting each other, but that requires to make sure that the information's out there. They do have a webpage where they outline some of their capital expenditures that they're doing for odor mitigation. I'd encourage folks to look at that. And again, my hope is to meet with them in July. And so if folks have specific questions they would like me to ask them in July, please get those over to me so I can present them to them in July. And then I'm going to invite them to our August meeting for another public hearing similar to the one that we had in December 2 years ago. So that way any members of the public can get their questions answered about any progress that has happened since our 2024 meeting with them. And at this point, until I see that presentation and learn more about it, I'm going to withhold any other comments. But I'm hopeful that we'll be able to see that they've done real meaningful work to making sure that they contain any odors and that residents know and continue to be educated on what to do if they smell something. Mr. Waters.
Thank you. If you folks, the council, my colleagues, remember when they were here in front of us a couple of months ago to present, telling us about their budget. And I know at the time, a couple of years back, we recommended they give the town mayor a quarterly report on the progress of the facilities, what they're supposed to be doing for clean air. And at the time, in the beginning, shall I say, when they were discussing about the clean air, they said they'll have it all taken care of in 5 years. I asked the question to Art Simeon, would he please give the town mayor a quarterly report? And the town mayor, if I may say, never received anything, and then the mayor had asked Art about it, and Art turned around and told him, well, go on our website, which honestly, that did not sit well on me. You turn around telling a person responsible, a good head of the town of Cromwell, and you tell them to go on the website like John Q. Public, and that did not sit well on me. And you folks probably know I've had trouble throughout the years with them, the smell of living close by it. But to me, when they turned around and said that go on the website, that's kind of disrespectful, in my opinion, sir, for you, okay? Other than that, I'm not going to say anything else. Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? Otherwise, if not, if you folks want to email me comments that you would like me to have asked at that July meeting, maybe by like right after the 4th of July, folks could email me whatever questions they want so I can get them addressed. And then again, our goal is to bring them back here in August for some kind of public hearing, so that way they can hear from the public, and also we can have our questions answered officially on the record. But that way we can get them the questions in advance, we can review the materials with them, and then we can hear from them publicly with everybody else. Any questions on that? Okay, hearing none, we'll keep moving. Mr. Town Manager, your turn.
Mr. Mayor, you have you have a short synopsis of some of the things that I've done during the month. You asked Cromwell Fishing Game / Cromwell Police Shooting to be put under there. However, I just want to say this is something that been working on for the past about a month or so, and we can discuss that further under the chief's comments. I do want to bring up a couple of things. The Rose Garden, I know Lou will probably speak more on it, but they did an outstanding job with that. It really looks beautiful. If you haven't had an opportunity to get down there, I would strongly urge you to do it. It's been years since it's looked as good as that, and that was a cooperation between members of the public, the town, and money that was received. I think it was the Creative District. We also had a meeting, and Lou can speak more on it, where we discussed the pollinator garden out at the community gardens off of Evergreen Road on the old Hoffman Farm, and the location's been selected. Call before you dig, and once that clears, the crew will get started on that, and under the direction of the master gardener. Speaking with the town tax collector, she's made a number of improvements to the office, and I would urge taxpayers to go to our website. She's now on e-subscribe link, and she's also accepting credit card payments for the convenience of the taxpayers, and, the credit card tax payments can be made using major credit cards, Discovery, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, et cetera. She's, really, done some outstanding, things with that office, and, it's, bringing us into the 21st century, so to speak. And, I'm very pleased with, some of the things I'm hearing from our taxpayers. The last thing is what we put together, the finance director and myself, and that was handed out. And, it's our opinion about the municipal and education aid that, we fulfill all the conditions that it remain with on the town side and be used to offset the costs of taxation. So we will be willing to answer any questions if any members of the council have any.
Any questions for the town manager? I'll start on my left. Paula or Brian?
I got a question, and I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but with regards to accepting credit card payments, are there fees associated with that to the town? Knowing myself that I pay the equivalent of a very large mortgage and credit card fees through my business every year, or every month. How is that handled on our end?
I can answer, I mean, Sharon probably can answer too. It's passed on, I think it's passed on to the card payer. The
Yeah.
fee, whatever the fee is on whoever pays, because I know in the past when I've wanted to pay for my car, it's told me that if I pay it via credit card and not electronic check, that there's we get charged whatever the service fee is.
They charge like 3% more or something,
It's-
yeah.
And there's no legality on
I can
that?
say that it is not the town that pays.
That's legal.
Okay, because I know that as a business, you cannot roll over that service charge onto your customers. So I was just wondering
I
if
believe
if we were footing the bill for that.
Correct. All the charges are kept by the credit card company, and they only give us the payments. They don't give us the fees. They keep them.
Okay.
But Brian brings up, speaking of credit cards, in light of some folks in other towns using credit cards liberally, I just want to make sure that internally we're just reviewing our processes and procedures, making sure that when we have staff that maybe use credit cards, not saying anyone does anything wrong, but that we're just reviewing our P card process and procedure just to make sure that there's not a Peppa Pig birthday party being paid for somewhere. But just as long as we can just make sure that internally we just take a second look at everything, make sure that, you know, I learned by reading the Crumby report that, you know, the best practice is that you have double signatories on things, all that kind of, making sure, I know Sharon does all of it, but just giving everything over, one more time would be something I'd recommend.
We do majority of those, checks and balances, and, anytime a credit card is used, there is checks and balances with regards to that.
Thank you. No Peppa Pig birthday parties here, I guess, okay.
We have a very low limit on our credit card.
Okay. So wouldn't be able to afford a Hartford club or something? No? Okay. Good to know. Mr. Waters, any questions for the town manager?
No.
I just want to, I posted on Facebook these sentiments, but I just want to share it. Lou's out there, right? Yeah, there. The Rose Garden came out incredible. The town staff, Michelle, everyone who worked on it, are to be commended. It looks immensely better, 1,000 times better than it did before. And the drainage improvements that your team did out there, I don't know who was out there on Saturday this weekend after we had a rainstorm, but I saw somebody out there this weekend looking at the levels, making sure that the drainage was working the way it needed to. It is so beautiful, and that is something that's going to grow and make that downtown even more beautiful, and it's something to be really proud of. So please extend my deepest thanks to the team for all the work that they did internally to make that possible. Any other questions on my right for the town manager?
No, sir.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to our liaison reports. So I'll start with my right. Mr. DeProto, any liaison reports? I think you have something exciting to share.
Well, the Conservation Commission was
principally been responsible for pushing forward with the conservation CT stuff, but this has been covered, I think, by other reports from the town planner and from our town manager. But I can say that we are looking forward to pushing ahead from bronze to a silver next year, hopefully. I don't know what the exact schedule it is for the pollinator pathway, but I believe originally we had intended on having it done by July, but I don't know where that stands.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. All right, that's good to hear. And well, there's one other thing. I can't remember, but progress is always continuing. So
Yeah, I said it on Facebook earlier today, I'll say it again here. Your leadership and Fay Tynes' leadership and the rest of the whole committee, the work that you guys have done with Stu and with Andrew now on board too has been nothing short of remarkable. I want to just give you guys all the flowers in the world, forgive the pun.
credit goes to the team. I mean,
Yeah,
especially
you guys have been
the
doing a great
staff.
job.
They really push forward on that.
Yeah,
So.
it's really remarkable work, so thank you. Ms. Hulick. Ann, one of the questions I had for you, and I'm sorry to pop it out, but would you be interested in starting to go to the Board of Ed meetings more regularly on the Tuesday nights that they have them?
Yes.
Okay. Matt, would you be able to get Ann added to the agendas for the Board of Ed meetings? So that way you can have a more regular liaison?
We actually already have liaison reports in our Board of Ed
Okay.
agendas.
Okay.
It's just that we haven't had a lot of people there.
Okay. Do you mind just having Lisa Hicks add her to the listserv so she can start getting the electronic agendas? Thank you kindly. Jack, anything from recreation or?
Last week I was away.
Fair enough.
So,
Mr. Waters?
I wasn't able to, I was unable to attend EDC meet Monday because I had a doctor's appointment, so I had to miss that, unfortunately. It was the Senior Advisory Commission that I was unable to attend to this past Monday morning. EDC meeting, I met with them on the third Wednesday of the month. Everything is going fine there. Mr. Popper gave a good update presentation on a lot of things that is coming down the road. And I did not attend the Cromwell Historical Society's meeting because I didn't see anything. Usually I get an email, and I can be honest with you, I don't know if it went in spam or not, but that would be it for now. Sorry.
Great, thank you. Mr. Bennell?
I was in Florida during the commission meeting, fire commission meeting, so I did not get to, but I didn't go to Disney World, sorry.
So, I know, disappointed, but that's okay, I'll forgive you. Ms. Luna?
I attended the 988 press conference at Pearson Park on May 29, announcing the installation of 988 signs throughout Cromwell. And I volunteered at the farmers market opening last Friday, June 5, from 4 to 7. And it was a beautiful day, well attended, the music was great. So it was a success the first week.
Fantastic.
may I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Mr. Hanahan.
My question is, and this may be for Tony and maybe for you, in the area of recreation, have we made progress? And I hadn't heard anything, but I was away for a week, so have we made progress there? And
We appointed for the new recreation director.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, yeah, I believe we had a special meeting, you weren't at, yes, when you were away, we had a special meeting, we appointed the right, didn't we appoint him? We appointed the recreation director.
My appointment at that special meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
They're gonna come to our,
16.
16th, they're gonna come to our July meeting
Yeah,
to introduce
16.
himself.
That's okay, 15, 16, I'll
And
look it up.
I'm glad you brought that up. I got a request from a resident that I wanted to pass along. People are having a hard time finding the Richard Noble Fieldhouse. They don't know that they can drive down that little road that's there. I wonder if it's worth investing in a little sign that says, additional parking or field house this way, or something that just lets people know that they can go back there.
We'll get additional signage that says the field house with additional parking.
Great, thank you. Okay, We'll keep it moving then to the finance director's update. We have a budget report in our packet. I'll recognize our finance director.
Mr. Mayor, or the finance director's coming up, we're okay with this?
Yeah, I have no further questions on the town manager's memo regarding the Board of Finance's application of the funds from the state to the fund balance. I feel it was appropriate. I think the CCM memo makes it appropriate. I think it was all followed appropriately.
So, just to be clear, you want me now to forward it to the Board of Finance and the Board of Education?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Go ahead and, for your budget report.
Okay, in your packet is the reports through the end of May for the fiscal year '26. The finance office is preparing for another year-end close. And with this, I am going through all expenditures and making sure everything is in line and working with the departments to close purchase orders. As for revenue, state aid is positive. Our town aid road grant came in positive, about 101,000. And then our pilot college came in at 95,000, and I budgeted 0. So,
Wait,
unfortunately,
what's that fund?
Yeah, what is,
the state of Connecticut miscellaneous revenue. It's the pilot college. These are the states.
Okay.
Unfortunately, ECS was short this year by 107,000.
Is that because of falling enrollment?
Yes, every year they file a report in October, and then the next year, even though I budget the number they give me, they can adjust my ECS number, in which they did in my last payment by 107,000, but we made up for it with the other. And then, of course, we had gotten that Eversource grant for the 500,000. And the expenditures are in line except for the revenue collector, which I have a transfer on the agenda tonight.
Thank you. Any questions for the finance director on the budget report or any items in the budget report in general? Okay. Moving along then, we have discussion and possible action regarding the capital fund project reallocation policy based off of the report from our liaison. I'm going to recommend that we table that again. So can I have a motion to table?
second?
Made by Al,
Second.
seconded by Jamin. 2 seconds, but I'll take one as a first. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of tabling indicate by saying aye. Approved, denied, any opposition? Abstentions? No, passes unanimously. Now we have our review and approve the interdepartmental transfer items as identified by the finance director's memo to your file. Looking to transfer $4,100 from employee benefits to tax collector to cover higher than anticipated tax refunds. Any discussion on that or questions for the finance director on that? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to approve the interdepartment transfer in the amount of $4,100 from employee benefits to tax collector.
So moved.
Made by Jack,
Second.
second by Paula. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next, we have 2 items from the middle school building committee that, after discussions with the town manager, we felt we needed to bring to the council for review. Is anyone from Little League here to address any of these points, or anyone from the middle school building committee here to address either of these points? Okay, they were invited, though? Okay. So these 2 items, are regarding a requisition order for the CMS softball field and a requisition order for painting the CMS hallway. So both in your packet, we included the cost of the revisions as well as the minutes where they were discussed. These items, so first of all, for the softball field, what items, Mr. Town Manager, are you looking for us to review this evening?
I guess in general, I'm looking for some guidance on all these changes because these were not part of the original baseball field. And this will, correct me if I'm wrong, no reimbursement from the state. So this will.
You're looking for review, there's $250,000 of work orders that are.
They're not asking for that all at once. They're, right now, they approved, Which should they approve right now, Sharon?
I don't, I'm sorry, I didn't bring the list, but,
Do I have the,
they did not approve, so in their minutes, they had a list of items they wanted, but they
Sharon,
did
step
not.
over to the mic so we have it.
But they did not approve all of them, and it's still up for, discussion. One of the items that John Harriman did not approve was the architect wanted to charge us
$9,000 if I.
between $9,500 and $10,000 just to design it, and, he did not feel this was necessary, and that it also is not reimbursable. And also, he wants to get a handle on the cost of all these changes for the softball field, so everybody is aware of what this is going to, cost. And I guess people are saying that it's a safety issue, and, I
But-
believe, and I think.
This never came up in the beginning, nor has the athletic director weighed in either initially in the beginning, based on John Harriman's initial memorandums. There was discussion on the items, but the athletic director has not weighed in at this time, to the best of my
If it's a
knowledge.
safety issue or not.
And what is the safety issue?
So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a number of different things that are happening. So the first one is an outfield fencing, which makes sense. I understand that one. The second one is the height, an extra 18-foot fence to protect the building from ball damage, so that the stray balls don't hit the glass windows. Apparently, it's within hitting range, that if without some kind of fence, it would probably be hit. And then the other items are like chain fence toppers that are a certain color that are recommended and required for like warning. And then there are some things that are not CIAC recommended, with like the warning track sod, which is quoted at $30,800. What that is if the kid is running backwards when they're trying to catch a fly ball, the turf changes, the sod actually changes texture, so they know physically, like, oh, I'm getting towards the end.
It's typically dirt.
So there are a number of items here. Little League is, were they invited tonight, Cassidy?
Yeah, they were invited, but again, I wanna point
Yeah.
out, this was a CMS school field.
Correct.
And now, in the 11th hour, or almost the completion of the project, now all of a sudden, these requests have come in. And, I mean, some of them are pretty significant,
Correct.
but at the end of the day, I wanna make it clear, no state reimbursement, so it's all coming out of the bond, and then we're gonna be, taxing for it.
And since there's nobody here directly involved with it that we can talk to, I have to ask you,
Yeah.
is anybody playing? They're not playing on that field, right? Probably they still have the
No,
big
I don't believe
sign,
they're playing on either that or the soccer field
the
at this
sign
time.
that says,
I'm seeing a head shake
You
from the
can't play
audience.
here.
They're not playing.
I believe they just started playing on it.
They just started playing on it.
on
Okay.
that, on the field behind the middle school, is that the field or? Yes,
Yeah.
that is the field.
Do all of, Lou, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, if you do come to the mic, do all of our fields have the red toppers and the rumble strips at the end and all these other things that cost $250,000?
I don't believe they all have.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think at this time again, there was only a few items that were approved.
Right, and, according to John Harriman, in my discussion this morning, is that since he denied that change order, he hasn't heard anything about paying the architect for the design.
So I'm looking at their minutes. So they approved the outfield fence, restoration of the turf, the yellow toppers, extending the fence down the baseline for the 18-foot to ensure that the windows aren't broken. And then in the more recent meeting, with motion to approve the 18-foot fence, the yellow toppers, turf restoration, caveat, planning and zoning approval. Okay, so
When you say they,
the building committee.
okay.
And the town manager flagged it because it was a non-reimbursable large expense that wasn't previously anticipated.
Is any of this required by CIAC to play?
Again, to the
League-
best of my
league
knowledge,
softball.
no, because again, the athletic director is not the one requesting these items.
Right.
And I understand, I'll give you some examples. The 18-foot tall fence to ensure that the balls don't hit the school. I understand that one. I understand the outfield fence to, the other outfield fence so that the kids don't fall into whatever the uneven ditches. I don't understand the things that are like the warning track for $30,000 for sod, or chain link toppers for tens of thousands of dollars, or like those seem like the difference between safety and want and need seems like the
I
double.
have no problem signing off on some and denying others. I just wanted the council to be aware, and doing that, we're not gonna get reimbursed.
That's a lot of money.
It's gonna come out of the bond, and it's gonna be 100% on the taxpayers.
Taxpayers back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the
I
only,
would recommend that the people who are involved directly in these recommendations.
well, that's what I was gonna say,
should
with
be
with
here
nobody
to
here
talk to us
to
about
explain
it
this, I have a lot of
and
questions.
try to explain it.
But they were
I
invited
go
tonight.
by that field a bunch when I'm taking my little drives, and I'll look. I've been looking at that field for a long, long time, and I know about the window, and they've got the cover to help from the batting. The likelihood of it hitting, it's not real high, but it could happen. So you put that cover there to keep the ball enclosed.
What is
And
the
I
height of the
get that.
fence now?
Pardon?
What is the height of the fence now?
They're talking two things. One is the fence that's in the batting cage, in the batting area.
Yeah.
To just get the foul balls from going to the window.
Right.
So that makes perfect sense, but it's a little bit of a ways, but it's still a good protection and it's needed. The other fence is the fence in the outfield, and what they're saying is somebody backing up for to make a catch in the outfield is gonna go in not balanced sod, so they might be going up on something or down on something, and they could fall. I don't know that. I didn't get out and check that out, but that will be something I'll look at. Is it not level? Is it dangerous? And if somebody says that it is, then we should
Well,
know.
on any
It was
typical
already
ball
level.
field,
Yeah, and it may be fine. I honestly, I don't know, but that's
well,
something
on
they
any
should be talking
typical
to
ball
us.
field, it changes from grass to dirt a good 12 feet before the fence to let you know under your footing that you are now on the warning track, is what they call it.
Yeah,
And the
Typical,
fence is
but-
12 feet away.
who knows what's
So
up with
so
that.
why don't do we want to have another meeting where we invite those stakeholders back, or do we want to empower the town manager to meet with the appropriate staff and make discretionary decisions here?
Make a motion to table it.
Well,
Hold
in
on.
all fairness, there is a time limit, right?
Yeah, there is a time
We
issue
got some
here.
timing issues, right?
Yeah.
So I don't wanna,
They need to get the work
if
done.
we wanna go
If
forward
school
with some of the items,
I like to spin it.
that even my
That's a
staff
lot of money. Well,
recommends,
we can make the decision.
And maybe for nothing.
I don't wanna mess up,
Yeah.
causing them a time delay.
Sure.
So, I guess I'm before you tonight just to make you aware. I'm gonna be probably denying some, and, probably the next one that you're gonna discuss is one of the ones. But, there may be a couple items in the ball field.
So why don't we do this? We'll authorize the town manager to review the items that were approved by the middle school building committee and make recommendations for denial or approval. And should the denied items raise objections from either the committee or Little League, that we bring them back here to the next meeting to address those denials,
Along with at least one of the members to
Yeah.
answer some sort of questions would be great.
Yeah, that's all. It's
Okay.
just, it wouldn't ever, when we saw the potential $250,000 worth of change orders, that's a significant amount of money for this project, and we want to make sure we're being good stewards of public money. So if folks are comfortable with the motion, I recommend to give the town manager discretion to approve or deny, and then, for any of the denials, invite Little League, Middle School Building Committee, Athletic Director to a future meeting to discuss the denials. Are people comfortable with that, splitting it that way?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Jamin, you look concerned.
I'm kinda split.
Okay, yeah.
Causing me pain, all that thinking.
Well, we are a deliberative body, unfortunately. I need a
I think a consensus.
okay, consensus. Okay, we don't need a motion. So,
Okay, fine.
consensus, I think that sounds like an okay plan. The next item that the town manager wanted to bring forward is they have a proposal to repaint a hallway in the middle school for $24,950.
Brand new hallway?
The 1-year-old hallway, that's correct, they want to repaint it for $24,950.
Do we know what's wrong with the hallway that it needs to be repainted?
I do not.
Does anybody?
What? They wanna do,
put gray on the bottom.
Also, don't put gray on the bottom.
But why?
Not for
Like, is it a
25
safety
grand.
issue?
I do not know why they want to put gray, and I believe Claudia was invited this evening.
and
I'm not good
And
with it.
just to that point, aren't we, I mean, they have employees at the school that do some of the jobs around the school and in the school, correct? Or am I
You
way
mean the
off?
custodians?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let them pay.
Why doesn't the school paint the wall?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't answer.
Or is that just a weird concept?
I'm sorry, I can't answer those questions.
Okay, I can't either.
I think
I'm-
I can live with the color that's there.
Yeah.
What color, is it unpainted right now? I don't
For 25
understand.
grand, I'm not gonna,
Paint it solid.
I'm
They
a
wanna-
fan of
they
gray.
wanna- From what I understand, and what Sharon's
they want a
trying-
border.
trying to say, they wanna do like the chair rail, without the chair rail.
But why didn't they do that initially? I don't understand.
I can't answer that question.
I mean, what a I mean, in my opinion, this is my opinion, like, what a waste of $24,000 of taxpayer money. I'm sorry.
James,
No.
And this is also not reimbursable.
Oh, of course not.
James.
Terrific.
for 24,000, I'll go paint it.
If anyone heard that,
23.
What was
there's a
that?
bidding war
What
on the
was that?
council to paint.
I'll do it for 20.
Oh,
She'll
you'll
do it for
20.
20. Okay, I think we've had our fun with it. Same thing with consensus. Does anyone feel strongly about moving this forward, or?
No.
No, no.
I mean, we have very rarely overruled the building committee on anything that they've sought. We've supported other deviations. The auditorium comes to mind, the electronic billboard we ultimately approved. So this is, we've generally speaking deferred to them, but I think just because there's a balance in the account, some of these things seem to be wants and not needs.
I mean, if there's something seriously wrong or something.
Yeah.
Like, what, you want a change of color? Like, that's weird. Isn't it?
Because there's money there.
All right, but there's other things they could conceivably come up with that's a little bit, I have the feeling there's something legitimate hopefully there that we just don't know about, but I don't know what that might be.
Projects shouldn't expand to fill the money allotted.
Okay, I understand the direction.
Okay. So moving along to tax refunds then.
Motion to approve 1 through 5.
1 through 5. Seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next, we will go to item J, Chief of Police update. Chief Penn and Captain Carlson, floor is yours.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You have my town council report in front of you. Some other added police notes. We are getting ready for the travelers. We got about 2 weeks left for chaos to assume. I did assign a sergeant to take over the detective sergeant opening. It's going to be Sergeant Perlini, who's the new detective sergeant. And on Monday night, the Mid-State Chiefs were in Newington for a hate crime symposium, where the hate crime unit from state police was there discussing hate crimes, and it was a good discussion and dialogue back and forth involving that. And also on Monday, the ACO conducted her fundraiser for the year, and she did a lot better than she did last year, so it was success all the way around.
Great.
Have any questions?
Why don't you explain the fishing game?
So, with that, we are being, I don't have a place to train officers right now for firearms. Well,
Wait a minute, let's be fair to Berlin.
no, I don't want to be fair to Berlin.
The town of Berlin, where we've, have shot at the Mattabesset / Berlin Police Department range, wants to charge us, $100 each incident, and, they want $2,000 put up in escrow. I've even had a talk with their town, manager about it, and, unfortunately, this is coming from their police commission, and at any rate, the chief, looking for a way to save money along with the captain, came up with this, potential, solution, which he brought to me, which I'm still pondering, and, go ahead, take it from there.
So it was broached to have the police department train at the Fish and Game Club, where some modifications would have to be made that would be suitable for us to train there, just having a level ground and then improving the berm. We drafted a MOU of going back and forth. It's not going to be a Cromwell Police Range. It's there for us for the minimal time that we need statutory training to be certified and for qualifications and such.
Is there a certain amount of money? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Paul. I was gonna say, is there a certain amount of money that we would have to spend in order to retrofit it in a way that would be acceptable?
I was in discussions with the town manager, and the town manager offered our Public Works Department to go down there and do it.
Again, if we go forward, potential with the right permits and ensuring that whatever we did was definitely permissible,
Yeah.
we would make it to accommodate what their needs are.
So we can do it effectively and affordably
Yes.
and get this done in a way that it will work for all. Okay.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And none of these modifications will put the game club in jeopardy of losing their grandfathered,
It's an existing
range
It's an
and-
existing range there. I was told it would not.
okay.
That range has been there for minimum 35.
Oh, I'm very familiar with it. I don't wanna see them get in any sort of a bind if
That was
the
one of the
state
questions.
if the state starts poking their nose around or whatever else.
That
I mean,
was
I
one of the
have,
questions
they've
I
been
asked.
they've been a
No.
very good,
Their range-
long-standing
it's an
club
established
for
ra-
many, many
It's
years.
an established range, it's all set.
If I may, I know the Cromwell, Fish and Game, they have a lot of expenses. And will the town be donating money to them on a yearly basis? Because apparently you're gonna be saving a super lot of money. And I think the Cromwell Fish and Game, the way they've taken care of the property for, oh my gosh, close to 100 years, if not better than that. They've always done everything by the book correctly.
I don't think we
I
wanna
can
enter in
answer
any
that
sort
right-
of a
I can
lease
answer that
agreement.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
We're not planning on donating any money.
And there are representatives from the Fish and Game Club here. I don't know if anyone wants to be recognized to speak at the podium. But yeah, well, I don't, Kyle, right? Kyle, if you want to come up and introduce yourself and talk about the conversations. I know the club has had several meetings where this has been discussed and talked about between the board members, the club members, and the PD.
Yes, my name is Kyle Berger, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm the chairman of the board of directors for Cromwell Fishing Game Club, and I'm here representing the membership. The police department reached out, as they said, looking to use our range, and we met as a club and are in favor of moving forward in discussions. We wanna help out any way we can, and come to a conclusion that will benefit all of us.
At this point, is the club looking for, other than the improvements, is the club looking for any, like, monetary donations or fees associated with it? Or is it just like if the PD or the town improves the site, that's satisfactory enough consideration?
Initially, I believe that was our consensus, that improvements to the range would be sufficient, and possibly discussing reimbursement, but that's not on our radar right now. We wanna help out, and if the police department needs a place to train, we're here to help.
Okay, great. And I think it's great when nonprofits work with our town to help us, ever increasing costs of everything, $100 a pop for training. So just so I have an understanding, Chief or Captain, how many times a year would the training need to occur? How, long? What are the scope of this? Would this be like every day someone's out there training once a year? Like, what's the scope of this?
Historically, we train
Three
in
to
the,
four times.
usually in the fall and in the spring.
Okay.
All right, and from there, it's, you have a week, probably in the fall, and you have a week in the spring. Just for scheduling with qualifications, we do training for night shoots that are now required as well. So, I mean, you're looking 4 or 5 days
Okay.
in the fall, maybe even less than that in the spring.
Okay. So this is not a 24, it's not like the Wallingford gun range where they're there every day, 9 to 5. I mean,
Maybe-
not
maybe-
the
maybe gun
members may
clubbers.
be, but the PD is not gonna be there from 9 to
No.
5, every rotate, right,
No.
there's limitations on this is relatively,
So the neighborhood virtually would not even notice this?
Wouldn't even know,
Yeah,
wouldn't even know.
and because they're grandfathered in, it doesn't require any permits, to Brian's point, will moving of topsoil or flattening out or grading require any wetlands permits or any other permits that jeopardize the club in
So
any way?
talking with Bruce Driscoll, they would have to get a permit because of the upper,
Okay.
I don't know the terminology for it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and so at that point, any residents that have concerns, there'll be a public hearing?
No, it'd be
or it's no
administrative.
public, administrative? Okay, so there's no public hearing on it? Okay, understood. Other questions from folks?
I'm all for
Great.
it.
Thank you to the club for saving the town thousands of dollars of taxpayer money. So thank you for being good neighbors. We appreciate it. Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
No, I think, anybody else have any questions? We're feeling good? Okay, go ahead.
Actually,
Mr. Pearl.
have you had any issues or directives or anything like that with these e-bikes?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Chairman.
We put out,
I don't want to be one of those cranky old guys like, "Bah, nah, bah." Well, I'm just curious because I've encountered them, especially as we roll into summer, and the kids have a little bit more time out at night, or whoever, I'm not gonna put it on kids, but, these bikes are really fast, and often enough, the people riding them, the black bike, are wearing all black, and there's no reflectors or lights, and I'm looking out for safety. You don't expect these kids to be zipping down the street at, midnight. It's like, whoa, what is that, So I'm just wondering if you have any.
we just put something out, I wanna say, the CPCA put out a PSA in regards to this with guidelines of what qualifies as an e-bike, where you don't need a license, and if you do, obviously the helmet law, that's still there. I'll have our social media people put it up, again, since we're going into the summer months where school is out, so they can be advised of what's going on.
please, so I can send them to members of the council.
Have there been any, I know you, for any of the SROs that are in the school, talking to kids about, bike safety?
Always.
Captain Carlson? Yeah. Go ahead.
So, in the spring, we had an issue, or early spring, we had an issue with the e-bikes in TPC and other private property areas. So our SROs put out notification in the school regarding the laws of e-bikes, the certain classes they all are, along with private property laws and where they can go and where they can't go. And in TPC alone, speaking with them, it has decreased the issues with e-bikes. But the SROs are communicating with the kids and everything about the laws.
The TPC, resident of the TPC reached out to me and asked me to come to their next board meeting. So, if there's anything you want me to pass, specifically, I think the e-bikes was what spurred them to reach out. So if you have anything that you would want me to pass along, or if you want to come with me to that meeting, you're welcome to do that too.
So they just had a meeting with, it was more of a security type meeting with travelers. And
Okay.
we had one of our sergeants go up there.
Did they get grilled on e-bikes?
Yeah, so.
Okay, then they're all set.
Stolen cars, all that type of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So anything you get from them, just direct it to me and I'll try to work on it.
You got it.
Are you talking about operation within River Highlands?
Yeah, and I explained to them it's private property.
Yeah.
I did it. I explained that to them, but they asked me if I would be willing to come to one of their board meetings. So I said I'm always happy to go to a meeting. So. Okay.
All right. I mean, that's basically the idea. I want people to be safe and also clear for everyone else. Where are they supposed to be operating? Are they supposed to be on the sidewalks? Are they supposed to be on the roads? I don't really know. So it's something that was.
It's like a bike. If
Okay.
you're riding a bike, you're really not supposed to be riding on the sidewalk, you're supposed to be in the road, so.
That's not correct. Unfortunately, the town would have to pass an ordinance that prohibits that, and we never have passed that ordinance.
See,
So unfortunately, in the town of Cromwell, they can't actually ride on a sidewalk. I don't know about the e-bikes, but a regular bike. So is it the same as operating a regular bike?
Yeah.
Then
Just at 40
unfortunately,
miles an hour?
this body would have to pass an ordinance.
I mean, is that something that we're interested in doing, banning e-bikes
I
from
think-
sidewalks and making them be on the road?
Because I know of
It's
at
certainly
least-
something to think about.
We could, I mean, I can ask Amanda or Cassidy to look into it and bring us back some sample language for the next meeting if the council would like.
Well, I think we should ask.
Or ask the chief to make a recommendation and then, based off of his recommendation.
See if any other town has.
They can do some research.
Yeah, so why don't you report back in July what research from other towns do? I do know I got some complaints from people who have the dirt bike path in Watrous that the e-bikes are tearing it up and destroying it. Which is really sad because that group of volunteers did a wonderful job making that dirt bike path. It's a little depressing, but
Well, I mean, at least that's a safer place.
yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't want to be a cranky old guy, like I said. You know, it's a cool thing. Yeah, all right, it's too late. You know what I mean? Like, I want kids to be able to have a thing to enjoy safely. I don't. You don't when you're driving, you don't know where to look because are they on the sidewalk? Are they on the road? Or
I've seen
I
them.
don't
Well,
know.
yeah.
So that's really what I'm talking about.
Here's the
you know?
issue, if we do entertain the ordinance, is it safer to put them in the road at 40 miles an hour, or safer to put them on the sidewalk? You know what I mean? If it's a safety concern, do you really want them in the road either? You know, I mean, they're not adults on these things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why don't you wait till the chief
Yeah.
does a little research and then you can discuss it,
I think that makes sense.
decide at that time.
Sorry to give you more work, but thank you.
Thanks, chief. Thanks, captain. Anything else for them? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the Public Works Director update. Lou, it's all you. We're doing pretty good for time tonight, guys.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
We're moving pretty
Don't
quickly.
jinx it.
No, we're doing pretty good.
Good evening. So you guys have some bullet points in front of you. The only one thing I wanted to expand on, and I don't want to beat it to death because both the town manager and the mayor brought it up, but was the Rose Garden. I had intended on taking a couple minutes to discuss that. Earlier tonight, you recognized a couple businesses, and I think there's a few more that I think I'd like to recognize as a result of this. Number one is Mike Canada and Canada Construction, because he was down there putting some plaques on and setting some tops earlier in the season with that. But we bought the plants after I met with Michelle, who did an outstanding, Michelle Labadia. She's actually a president of Rocky Hill. But she came in, we met a couple times, and I explained to her what our goals were. And she came back a couple times with couple different options that we ended up selecting what you see down there. But when she came back, she also dragged her husband and her neighbor in to help our staff do the planting. So kudos to Michelle, and I hope she's listening. But Pride's Corner, they're a wholesale distributor, and we already, as a town, as an account bearer there, get contracted pricing. And when I went up there with the list, it was a pretty sizable list. It was a pretty big order. So, of course, I had to ask, is there anything you can do for us? And being that it was a town project and part of town beautification, they took an additional approximately 12% off, so which was significant. You recognized a few businesses earlier, and again, there's contractors like Mike and businesses like Pride's Corner that stepped up to the plate as well. In addition to that, we know the Cromwell Creative District and the Lions Club played a role in it. But really, I want to give my staff the recognition they deserve, and you talk about a collaborative effort. The drainage was designed in-house by John Harriman and Mike Schwokas in the engineering department. Highway department did an outstanding job. That was a pretty sizable drainage project, and I put them under the gun. We started it about a week and a half before Memorial Day weekend. And even knowing that the parade was the 30th, or supposed to be the 30th before it got canceled, I wanted it to be in presentable condition for the car show that Friday night. So we kind of put them under the gun, and they didn't disappoint. So kudos to Don Quick and the highway staff. Tommy Sheehan in Parks played a role with the restoration and coordinating the irrigation installation there. And building maintenance as well. They were down there when we whitewashed the bricks and did some other stuff down there. So to say it was a collaborative effort from every division within Public Works, I think kudos to the whole staff. They all deserve. It's beautiful. I hope the residents enjoy it. I certainly
appreciate it when I drive by it, and I think it'll get hardier and more beautiful as the years progress. So
Thank you, Lou.
hopefully we can keep up with the maintenance of it, but I'm sure we will. And really, I don't have anything else. If you guys have questions on anything else you have in your report.
Good.
I just want to add, the Lions Club, the 4 benches that are down there, were as a result of them collecting enough plastic where they provided us with those benches.
Oh, nice.
And, we
It's
put
1,000 pounds of plastic a bench, right?
1,000 pounds of plastic per bench.
Wow.
So there's a couple tons of plastic bags down there, so to
And
speak.
we got other benches from them at
Yeah.
other locations.
Yeah, we got other benches, but
I
there's
just
4 of
wanted,
them down
the
there.
4 that
so-
are there
That's
are
incredible.
also part of it.
No, bags. The dry cleaning bags. The clear plastic
Oh.
film.
Yeah, oh, it's nice.
We used to collect them here in Town Hall, but
The,
but
dry cleaning
town
bag,
manager a
plastic
couple-
wrap, whatever. Lou, if you could send an email to me and copy Amanda on it, or Cassidy, on it with the name of those businesses that donated and gave us discounts, I'd like to write them a thank you note.
Yeah, also, I won't go back to last year when we laid it out with Mountain View, but Cromwell Concrete as well. We needed some supplies from there, and we were given a list, and when they found out it was for the town, they slashed it again.
That's
So-
great. So, yeah, if
so-
you could get the names over to them, I'll write a thank you note, and if the council's okay, I'll sign it on behalf of the council.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Lou.
And that's really all I have, and unless you guys have any questions about anything else.
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Comment that it was also hot when your team was out there.
Oh, yeah.
I went by and I was like, ooh, it's hot, and they're out there working hard at midday. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree, and something to be proud of. I mean, 12 years here, I remember I felt the same way when we finished Valor Green, several years back now, but, something that everyone involved and the residents hopefully enjoy and should be proud of, so. We've accomplished a lot, but a few kind of stand out and have an impact, so.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate it a lot, Lou. Thank you.
All right.
Any other questions for Lou?
I see you filled the two vacancies for Parks and Grounds maintenance.
We did.
Is that including the new full-time one that we approved?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, there was one posted as a result of the retirement.
Yeah.
We had to wait to fill it because of promotions, and then ultimately last month, we had posted for that, so when the board approved that added position, we had a list of candidates, and we just interviewed for 2 instead of 1.
Nice.
So they're both filled.
Excellent.
And I saw Willowbrook got paved.
Willowbrook, yep, from
That's great.
Evergreen up to Coles, yep.
That's great. And the track, I saw the track is being resurfaced. Are we doing that in-house, or is that, did we bid? Oh, okay.
That's out-
Okay, that's a vendor. Okay, I saw the notice on the town's
They're-
website.
They're scheduled to start on the 15th. In fact, there was an email today, the contractor, and I can't think of their name off the top of my head, but they notified the Board of Ed that they are in fact on schedule. They'll be here on the 15th, and they'll probably start staging equipment.
Did that go out to bid, or was that because it's through the CCM consortium?
Yeah, I think it was through some consortium.
Okay, very cool. Thank you. Any other questions for Lou? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to citizens' comments. Citizens' comments are limited to 2 minutes per speaker. Please state your name and address for the record, and please be respectful. So I'll start with an electronic letter that I got, and then we'll go into the room. So this letter is from Courtney Winnis, a resident of Doring Drive. As you may know, there is a public hearing tonight at the CTDOT for a retaining wall project on Main Street near Doring Drive. This project includes good improvements such as removing one NB lane, northbound lane, before the curve and adding a much-needed sidewalk within the shoulder buffer on the northbound lane from Fritch to Iron Gate Lane. While these improvements are welcome and I'm excited to see them eventually constructed, it would be a missed opportunity if HAWK, hawk signals, or other safety lighted pedestrian signs were not added at both new crosswalk locations. As a resident of Doring Drive with young kids, we have a great neighborhood and we're always excited to be spending and enjoying our time outside, but we are limited in where we can walk due to the unsafe nature of Main Street. Adding these signals will improve safety and alert drivers. We are also asking the DOT to consider a dynamic speed and feedback sign posted on the New Britain, northbound side, sorry, not New Britain side, approaching the curve and alert drivers to slow down to improve safety. I'm impressed at our mayor and our council and hope you will all join us in encouraging DOT to look into these added measures to continue to make Cromwell safe for families. If you're unfamiliar with the meeting and comment period, here's a link to the press release. Here's the map of improvements that can be made. There are hyperlinks under both. Please let me know your thoughts. I look forward to a good discussion. Sincerely, Courtney Winnis. So that is from Courtney. Cassidy, I'll send that to you for the minutes. I indicated that we have our meeting this evening, so we would not be able to attend the DOT meeting, but I think we are appreciative of any efforts DOT may make to make our Main Street safer and pedestrian friendly, especially if they are going to be paying for it. But now I'll open it up to the room. Are there any citizens' comments from the room? Mr. Matt, just state your name and your address for the record.
Still here.
Still here.
I'm still here, and hopefully you'll appreciate this. Matthew Zabrowski, 25 Sovereign Ridge here in Cromwell. Also a member of the Board of Education. Hearing the discussion earlier about the paint on the CMS walls. I thought I knew the answer, but I didn't want to speak up because I wasn't sure.
Okay.
So I reached out to the chair of the building committee and said, I think it's this. Is this the reason? The original color choice for the paint in that main hallway that is the request to be repainted, the color that was chosen has turned out to be a very poor color as far as getting marked up by incidental contact, stuff like that, from the students. So is the view that if it was repainted the other color, it'll keep the school looking fresh and new and nice for a longer period of time.
Did they say why it cost $24,000 to do that?
That was not, that information was not provided. I wish I had it for you. I'm in this case, I am simply a messenger. Please don't, the old saying,
are you gonna,
shake the messenger's hand and give him money. That's the saying, I think.
Yeah. So how much would you paint the walls for?
Me personally?
Yeah. How much? What's your low bid?
I mean, I would have to get some measurements, but given what I know about the building, I think I could do it around 17.
I also, I think you could be in. We could work something out.
I'd be willing to go into a collaboration, Jack.
What I'm thinking is, what I'd like to know is, what is the significant difference? Maybe the next time you show up, the significant difference between the paint we have there that is all marked up and the new paint that we're gonna put.
So the color currently is a white that is showing everything.
So they put a white paint.
It was when the color scheme was discussed, they realized after the students took over the building.
It looked nice and clean.
That it's not going to work long term.
And these are middle schoolers.
Are the other hallways painted a different color?
Sorry?
Are the other hallways painted a different color?
I honestly, off the top of my head, don't know that information.
what's
And I've walked all those halls, and I still can't picture it.
What's the new color,
Exactly.
Matt?
What's that?
What's the new color?
I believe the new colors are gray.
It's grayish.
And that's not gonna show marks and stuff?
That is the thinking. That was something that was discussed in the committee, and I remember reading when I reviewed the committee minutes. I remember reading about that there, and I think it may have come up, kind of on the side of the Board of Ed meeting. But that's why I had heard it. I had some familiarity, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't want to speak up earlier.
Yes.
You Mayor, I looked into this just to see why we're spending $24,000, and I understand that pencil marks going down, the kids.
Yeah.
That's a white wall with.
I mean, I think I'll speak on behalf of the council, the unpaid council and the unpaid mayor. If we want to split this up, I mean, maybe I'll go and erase the pencil marks for you guys for like
maybe,
$10.
Maybe
$10 a month. I'll do it for 10. I'm a cheap
We'll form a little painting committee amongst the group.
I think this has clarified it, but I think respectfully, at the sake of too much levity, I appreciate the building committee for worrying about this. This is their job to make sure the building that we paid a lot of money for looks good. I think that this is one of those things that, I think building maintenance can approach and take care of versus having taxpayers spend that kind of money on.
Again, I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, no,
You're supposed to shake my hand and give me money.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Matt. Go ahead, Mr. Waters.
So about that 17,000 for the paint. Is that discussion?
I could probably do a 1675.
1625.
Hey, if you can keep it low enough, you don't even have to come to us for the money.
Matt, don't they have security cameras throughout the whole school?
Yeah, very high tech.
And aren't they watching it to catch the little culprits?
I'm sure, but I'll actually address this one from my own professional career as an 8th grade middle school teacher. When you've got the hallways full of kids, it's nearly impossible to single out who, if you got 200 kids in a hallway all moving at the same time, it's so hard to tell who did what. I've looked at security camera footage in, where I work for certain instances, trying to recognize who did what, and when there's a large group of kids, it's pretty hard to pinpoint something that small. Pushing and shoving, you can see pretty easily, and do quite often. But
I will admit, at the old Cromwell Middle School, I used to try to do my rubber band pencils to get the pencils to stick in the ceiling tiles. But the school is no longer there, so I think I'm safe from any 20-year later damages.
Just so you know, Mayor DeMayor, the students in this day and age have progressed past trying to stick pencils in the whatever that is called, ceiling, the drop ceiling.
I used to make like little balusters. And
now they're actually taking staples out of the boards on the walls, the presentation boards and whatnot, and they're straightening them out, and they're using Post-it notes, and they're making Post-it note airplanes that have a staple point, needle point on the front.
Oh no!
And
they're getting
those
creative.
are all over the ceilings. So,
Okay.
and I've actually looked at footage trying to figure out who stuck 5 or 6 of those in a hallway, and guess what? You can't tell that either.
Fair enough. Well, we'll move on, folks. We're past our 2 minutes.
Thanks,
Matt,
folks. Have
thank
a
you.
great night. I just made your
Thank
meeting
you.
longer than it needed to be.
No,
and
no,
I
it's okay.
apologize.
I can
thank you,
fix
Matt.
this with a couple of $35 cameras.
Any other citizens' comments? Are there any other citizens or members of the public that wish to provide any feedback or citizens' comments to the council? Any other citizens' comments? I'll say it one more time. Guys in the back, you're all good? Okay. So hearing no other citizens' comments, then I will conclude this portion of the agenda and move on to unfinished business, which is review proposals, select recruitment firm for town manager search. So we had previously allocated some money for this, I think $24,000. There are 3 packet proposals that are here, and I just had a question. So we didn't do we don't have to do a formal RFP for this, right?
No, you have the authority. The way I read it, I think you have the authority to waive it.
Okay, got it. So we would need 2 votes tonight, 1 to waive, 1 to hire, right?
Let's see, I knew that was gonna come up. So, the town council may, without requiring competitive bids, but through the use of request for qualifications and request for proposals, which basically we have process, select, and designate such individual or entity for a term not to exceed 1 year.
Great. So we have 3 different groups that respond. So this was posted somewhere, and these groups responded. How did we get these 3 groups that we have in front of us?
Amanda solicited them.
Okay, great. And I know SGR is the group that both was recommended to me by Rocky Hill because they used this group, and the fire director, or current fire director, had worked with this group before
he
as
spoke
well.
with me about them also.
And so that's where I think that name came from. So there's 3 packets here with different amounts of information. Do folks need a recess to read them before we have open discussion on them? Or have folks already reviewed them prior to right now? I'm happy to entertain a brief recess if people just need a chance to look them over. Otherwise, we can start discussion.
I'm good.
Okay, so let's start discussion. So we have 3 proposals. One is from Pracademic Partners. One is from SGR, and one is from the Human Resources Consulting Group. All 3 organizations have put together kind of an outline of the services they provide, how they provide them, and what that process looks like. I'll just go through them really quickly. So, Pracademic Partners estimates between 19,000 and 24,000 from start to finish. They outline their scope of services. The fee structure is a flat fixed fee, not hourly or percentage of first year salary. They have a process that they outline. The Human Resources Consulting Group has a process that they outline as well. This group is hourly, $175 an hour, so there's not a fixed fee. Rather, they're just hourly depending on how many hours of work that we put in there. They're estimating that the process will take, looks like, I'm just gonna do the max amount, 4 hours, 24 hours. Looks like they're saying it would cost about 25 hours at that hourly build rate is what they're estimating. Wait, hold on, nope, I messed that up. Methodology.
I was gonna say, they're way under.
So they're six hours for position and profile, 4 hours for recruitment and marketing strategy, 20 hours for evaluation, 20 hours for interview, 3 hours for advisory support, and then 2 hours for background check, and then 1 hour for authorizing docs. So I did not add those up, so let me just add those up.
$9,800.
So they're $9,800, so they're lower. And then finally is the SGR group, which has the longest packet, and I think most expensive price. Yeah, pretty thick. Let me see if they have their proposal process here and there. I thought I saw in there that they said a little more than what we were quoted for. I think this one wanted 30 grand for the 29, I think they may have said, but let me see if I can find it in here.
I can add that I had a long discussion with Roger Hart from the Director of the Fire Commission. He was hired through SGR and had nothing but amazing things to say about them. He said they were the most professional headhunting group that he worked with. So just to offer that's the only.
So I have no experience with either of the firms. I will say that with SGR, Rocky Hill used them and Newington used them recently.
Yep.
But I'll look to the town manager. Mr. Town Manager, do you have a recommendation based off of reviewing the?
This is the one we got from CCM.
That's, so the Human Resources is the one we got from CCM. Amanda solicited the para academic partners, and then SGR came from Roger?
That's correct.
Okay. So deliberative body. I mean, I guess there, I think we have, the prices are different between the groups, the scope of services that they provide are different, or are very similar. They kind of all do the same thing. They just have one has probably the more nationwide kind of broad search. The other two have kind of more specific and streamlined processes. So I think it's just a matter of what we value more when we're looking these over. Obviously, we have a town manager right now that is a longstanding employee and resident of the town, and it's going to be next to impossible to duplicate that kind of expertise, because we're more likely than not going to be able to recruit somebody who has been in town for as long as Mr. Salvatore, with the knowledge and depth of history as of the town of Mr. Salvatore. So whoever is his successor is probably going to not only need some onboarding, but is probably going to, we want to try to figure out who can hit the ground running, and what we value from that candidate and what we're looking for them to be able to do to continue to bring the town forward. So I think all of them offer different variations, but I'll open it up to discussion if folks have strong feelings about one over the other.
I have a question on the human resource. I saw the 175 when I was going through this, the 175
toward
an
the back.
hour. Is there something else on the money side that gives us more info? Yeah, it's still the 175 an hour, whereas the other one gives you a number. You know, the other one was the 27, 28, what?
This is 175, and then it says additional fees will be incurred for job posting, technology, background, and screening.
Right.
So there may be other charges depending on what we ask them to do.
I can't imagine that they're less than 50% of everybody else.
Yeah, that seems a little strange.
I would imagine that too.
Right.
Yeah, it's only because it's not as clear. I mean, the other one has some numbers, so I don't have experience with any of these, so I really can't speak.
Yeah, like I said, the only experience I have is that, Roger spoke very highly of SGR. They do seem to have quite a impressive package put together.
They
But
did.
that's all I know about
Yeah,
them.
the Rocky Hill folks told me that they were very happy with, I think their current town manager was recruited through
Yeah,
this process.
that was pretty recent too, wasn't it?
That was 2022.
Yeah.
So they've also did Glastonbury's town manager as well in 2023. And then it's not listed in here, but I believe I was told that they did something with Weathersfield recently too, or maybe that was older. But again, I mean, with this group, I think you're gonna get a nationwide kind of scope. Probably they probably have a bench of candidates that they field. Human Resource Group probably has some connections with CCM, so they probably know more people in state, I would guess, based off of the way that they kind of presented themselves. And the other one looks like they say that they have candidates in 45 organizations in 16 states. So it looks like a smaller group. They've placed 45 organizations, so kind of a smaller framework, but, which one? The big one? This one, they're quoting at 29, which is above what we had. Correct, that's above what we allocated, so we'd have to go back and allocate more if we wanted to use this one.
The phrasing in there was different. It says not to exceed price of $29,419. At least on page 14, I was looking at that fee proposal. And then it says not to exceed price of a comprised fixed fee of $26,919 up to $2,500 in ad placements. So they've got a little smorgasbord of pricing as well as to how they're gonna do it and what it's gonna cost. And both of them could end up in the same place. It's just how many hours with these folks and then whatever else they do. And then with these, they're a little more transparent as what the price is gonna be, but it's still gonna be, well, it could just be what we offer. I mean, we
Well,
start
and that's it
with
too.
and
You
then
could say, hey, we're thinking of going with you. This is what we have to work with.
Are you interested?
Are you interested?
Yeah, so, I don't know.
Some of those, or if I may make a suggestion, you approve another 5,000 tonight and take it to the Board of Finance.
Could do that.
Well, right, in a normal procedure, right, we would ask who is the most senior qualified bidder, right? We normally go with the low bid. That's normally the bidding policy and our purchase policy as a town. We can waive that if we feel that one candidate is more qualified than another, or if we think there's a specific reason for wanting to go with one group over the other. So I guess the question that I have for you is, do we think that SGR services are at a premium compared to the other two packets?
I would say, judging by their resume, and their success with Rocky Hill and Glastonbury, that's just my feeling, but yeah, I think they've proven themselves to.
Can the town manager go back and ask them some type of a price negotiation? Because that's a high price, but are they leaving things open? And some of these things, one of them there sounds like they might be adding on a cost overrun, right there in
Well, the
black
other
and
one-
white.
The other one's hourly, and then there's additional fees that they don't disclose what
Right,
they are.
exactly, cost overrun.
Yeah.
That's a chance. I would see if you're looking for the higher price one, see if it can be negotiated.
Yeah, you give it a try, but if we have to come back again, does this delay the process? I don't know, I'm just throwing that out.
I think if we decide on SGR, I think we should then ask Board of Finance for the extra
Yep.
5,000, and if it doesn't go over, then we come in under. If that's the route we wanna go,
Or negotiate with them.
just to keep the ball rolling.
But if the human resource group was the one recommended by the local. CCM, sorry, like, they're familiar with how things around here work, you know? They wouldn't recommend someone who's garbage.
Why didn't
Environmental.
Rocky Hill use them? Why didn't Glastonbury use them? For the same positions.
Who, do we know, I mean, Cassidy, I don't know if Amanda told you, but do we know, I know this is the CCM group, do we know what towns have they done any towns recently?
Amanda would know that.
Okay, 4 plus 20.
Brian, you're saying these guys, they had, Rocky Hill or whoever it was, had both of these groups recruiting for them, and only one of them was it successful?
Both
Is
of
that-
them. They filled both, I think they filled Glastonbury's and they filled Rocky
I think you
Hill's.
guys are asking different questions.
Yeah, I think, so I was kind of confused. I'm talking about human resource group, right?
Yeah.
This is the group recommended by
By
the,
CC yeah.
and my point is I don't think they'd recommend a useless group. No doubt SGR presents themselves very, very professionally, and they give you a sample of one of the recruiting sheets, and they have this long list of placements, and the human resource one does not. But I'm just wondering, maybe the human resource group might be better since it's more of a local focus than something that.
No, and I understand what you're saying. I'm just wondering then why didn't Rocky Hill use whatever CCM recommended to them, or why didn't Glastonbury use whoever CCM recommended to them?
Maybe they thought the same thing, like, oh, the expensive one must be better, you know?
I don't know.
Well, it's not
It worked for
necessarily
them.
more expensive.
It worked for
because
them.
This is an hourly
But what
fee.
they cost- what
You
they
can
cost.
very easily end up in the same place or higher.
Probably the same thing's gonna
Maybe
cost us.
both be in the same place.
I'm not stating things as fact, I'm just stating,
Yeah.
this is some of the questions rolling through the
Oh,
the
yeah.
old noggin here.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions. Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, myself personally, I don't know that either one of these companies, so.
I mean, for my business, we use Indeed and, you know, but, you know, there's a lot more throughput. Like, I'm hoping this is, something that will recruit and keep for a long time and be able to, you know.
Well, even though they're a separate entity, the fire district used SGR
So
to
Glastonbury
replace the
does
director of
use,
the.
Glastonbury does use them, as well as Stamford and Middletown. So
Okay.
the recent towns that they've worked with is Glastonbury, Meriden, Stamford, and Middletown. That is their most recent
That's
work.
which one? That's-
The human,
That's the human resources.
Okay.
thank you, Cassidy.
They came from CCM.
I'm not saying like, you know, sometimes you cheap out and sometimes you don't, but here, there's no guidance as to, at least, none, I don't know. Which
Yeah.
one of these is considered the best shot at it? I don't know why it would be that different between, yeah.
Well, I think based off of the packet that para academic submitted, I don't think they're in the running. I think it's between SGR and Human Resources Group. I think those are the two that put together streamlined kind of packets and discussions.
Right.
Second.
So I think it's between those two. I mean, it looks like they both, Cassidy, do you know, has the Human Resources Group, they've done town manager recruitment as well?
I can't say. It doesn't say on here
What
specifically.
are the smirks from the audience about out there? Nothing? Okay.
Hi, Gary Evans, Academic Partners.
Oh, okay. Do you want to address the council?
I mean, if you have questions for me, I'm happy
With all due respect.
Yeah.
If you do that.
Sure. So then we have to invite the other two groups to address the council. You're right.
We can't do it.
Sorry.
Thanks for the offer.
Thanks for the offer. Do you want to paint a wall?
My wife actually works for CMS, so I'm already.
Oh.
You're conflicted out?
Conflict of interest.
Maybe you do it for 10 grand. Get a break.
Yeah. We'll include it in the search. We'll just throw it in.
Yeah.
nice, right?
Guys.
Oh, man, I don't know, where do we go here, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, boy.
You could pull the council.
Sure, so let me do that. So, we'll do some ranked choice voting then. I'll go left to right. Give me your 1, give me your 2, give me your 3, and then we'll rank choice vote it, unless people want to do it by secret ballot. But I don't think we can. I don't think we're allowed to do secret ballot. We have to do votes in public. So let's do ranked choice voting. I think that's the fairest way to do it. Al, I'm gonna steal your pen. So the way ranked choice voting normally goes is we have everyone vote for their first, second, third, and then we scale them together based off of it. So let me do this. Let me flip over one of my sheets here. So I can keep notes. Okay. So Paula, who is your number one of the 3 bids, or the 3 proposals?
Brian, which is the one that the other towns all around us used?
Well, I think both
Yeah.
the Human Resources Group and SGR both have been used by towns around us, to be fair,
Oh,
so.
boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Put you on the spot, right?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. SGR.
Okay.
Motion. Put a motion on the floor.
Well, I was trying to poll the council to see if there's a consensus as a deliberative body. Who's number 2 for you, Paula?
Human resource.
And who's number 3?
Who's left?
For Academic Partners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Brian?
Mine are the same.
Same. Cool. Al?
Same.
I'll pass for now. I want to see where everybody else lands. Jack?
Oh, that's sneaky.
Yeah, it's nice to be the chair sometimes. Jack is the same. Anne?
I will say the same, though I do have to admit, kind of in line with Jamin's thoughts, that the Human Resource Consulting Group recommended, or, passed on from CCM, they're local, I'm struggling with that. This is SGR is a Texas-based company. They look great.
So do you want to put them as number 1?
I would put SGR as 1,
Okay.
Human Resources 2, and the other one is.
And then Jamin?
It's a tough one.
It is?
I'm probably gonna go with the Human Resources number 1,
Mhm.
then probably the Academic Partners 2, because they at least provide a timeline and description of all those steps that they plan to do. I thought that was actually really great.
Do we want to revisit? I mean,
And SGR last because they're very expensive, and I don't know. I just think like throwing a bunch of clip art doesn't impress me, so.
yeah, no, that's fair. Do we want to relook? Oh, well, okay, so my opinion is I tend to think that the lowest bidder it's as long as they're qualified, can still be approvable. The lowest bidder is technically the Human Resources Consulting Group, and it came from CCM. So if I put my finger on the scale, even though I do like SGR's presentation better and the best, I do think if I were to rank them, it would be Human Resources Group first, followed by SGR, and then Pracademic. But I do think your point's well taken, that Pracademic does have the more of a timeline that's specific to, the window of time. But other versus, instead of hours, they measure it in days, which is helpful. So it seems like to me, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 in favor of SGR as. Your SGR first, Dan, as well, or HR is first?
I said SGR, but I am really struggling with my comments about.
Yeah, I think the goal will be for us to try to recruit the best quality candidate and try to make sure that we are recruiting from the broadest possible pool possible. But I don't have any doubt that one group will be able to do that less than the other group. I think it's all about presentation and what they already have in the Rolodex and the canister.
So you
I would,
you
if it
will
was,
need a waiver
yeah, so,
if you do that, and you're gonna need a reason.
yeah. So
Why you're going
I'm
5,000.
personally in favor of Human Resource Consulting Group because they're the low bid, as far as I can tell, and they're recommended by CCM. So, finger on the scale, I would do HR first for those reasons. I don't think there's significant enough of a difference to justify an additional $20,000 of potential costs.
Where do you get the fee for the human resource?
So
All you have is that 175 an hour, right?
No, well, they put two proposals, two scope of works options for us. Option one is comprehensive recruiting. Option two is screening and selection support. So I used option one to do my math. So option one said 4 to 6 hours for profile development. So let's just pretend for a second that they spend the full 6 hours. Then,
But they're not held to the 6 hours.
well, no, they're not.
That's the thing, they're an hourly rate.
They are an hourly rate.
So what if they turn around and say, well, actually, it took us 20 hours.
Well,
We didn't realize it was gonna take that much.
I'll do that math.
We've been down that road before.
So it's 56 hours of what they're estimating at 175. That's $9,800 for them to be the same cost.
They're 20,000 less.
For them to be the same cost as SRG, they would need to do another 100 hours worth of work.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true, it is. But I mean, they have like, they have a demonstrable path of like, you know, they've.
What did Rocky Hill pay? Oh, wait, they didn't use
They
I would
used,
love to know.
Well, didn't you say it was Glastonbury, Meriden, Middletown?
so Human Resources Group Cassidy were what towns?
That was Glastonbury, Stamford, Meriden, and I believe Seymour. None of which are for town managers.
Okay,
None
these
of
are
which
just
were
for
town
staff.
manager- Just for staff, like departmental staff, head of departments, HR.
So Rocky Hill used SGR for a town manager.
And Glastonbury.
Glastonbury used SGR for a town manager.
Oh, they-
Correct?
Correct. I just don't know what the cost that the cost is.
We're reaching out saying, hey, what did you pay to get your talent?
I know, I just, because then I don't wanna delay the process further, that's my big concern, you know. Is it worth, is it worth $20,000 more to go with one company versus the other? And the middle group is 19 to 24 as well, we budgeted 24, I think we should,
Guessing it's 20.
yeah.
You don't know what the hours are gonna total up to.
But even at the hourly,
Giving you a guesstimate.
sure, but if they've, at their hourly rate of 175, for them to spend the 24,000, they'd have to give 137 hours for the recruitment process. Their estimate of the amount of hours they'll need is 60. So they would need to use double the amount that they estimate to get to the $24,000 cap. I mean, is it feasible and possible? Sure, I mean, I just think that they're the low bidder and that they're qualified by CCM. And as much as I would like to use SGR because I'm impressed by their presentation, as a fiduciary,
And the results.
and they've had good results as well. They all three groups say that they've recruited candidates successfully. I mean, listen, if somebody wants to make a motion, that's the way that the body works. Four is enough to pass, so, you guys. So, if we were following pure ranked voting, it would be SGR would be first, and then Human Resources would be second, and Pracademic would be third.
I'll make a motion to go with SGR for our headhunting company.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second for that?
Second.
There's a second by Jack. Any further discussion on that? Okay. Hearing none. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Yeah. Well, go ahead.
It's more than you have
we would have to reallocate, we'd have to go to Board of Finance to get approval, and then we would have to articulate a reason for, and we'd have to waive the bidding.
Can I ask a question on that? Is it possible for us to talk to SGR and see if they would meet our threshold or our?
I mean, anything's, yeah,
Well, because
anything's possible, I suppose.
No, but I mean, that would open things up a little bit more, cause you'd feel better about the pricing restraints, so let's say.
I mean, listen, we could
And
kick,
we wouldn't have to
we could kick
develop.
it back and say to all these groups, we want formal proposals and have them come and present and do it like we do a normal bid. The reason that we did it this way was because we wanted to try to expedite it and get it done within 3 months. And so if you wanna do something in 3 months, you don't have the 30-day window for them to submit the full packets, and you don't have individual interviews, and you don't have, the candidate questions. So we, at the last meeting, when we discussed this, we wanted to move quickly with it. And so we decided that we would go in a process that would be.
Haste makes waste, doesn't it?
Haste and that's true, haste makes waste, so we have to make a decision about, if you wanna do that, the only fair way to do that would be to open it back up and give the groups the time to come back and everyone, we do the formal interview process, right, we'll do.
And if we did human resource or the other, proposal,
Mm-hmm.
either one of those could be approved based on our current pricing.
Correct, and the human resources is technically under the bid of 12,000, which is the normal bid waiver amount, right? Is 12,000 our bid waiver amount?
Well, and just like all the other ones, even SGR, it says not to exceed 29,419.
Yeah, but.
It could be less.
But they said it's a fixed fee.
Just like human resources could be more.
Correct, but theirs is a fixed fee of 26 and then up to an additional 25 in ad placements, right? If we were doing this as a typical RFQ or an RFP, these would all be the price page would all be in an envelope. We would have interviewed them all, ranked them all, and then picked one of them. We decided last meeting not to go through the formal process, but to pick one without going through it, because we wanted to not have to spend 30 or 45 days to set that up. Yeah.
I have a problem you making a motion to pick someone at this time that exceeds what you have allocated.
I agree.
So I'll withdraw my motion.
Well, I'm just saying,
Because we would then need we don't have the money, so how can we enter into a contract with somebody that we don't have?
Correct,
Yeah, so I agree.
I would urge you
Take it back.
to reconsider whatever you're doing.
As much as I really like SGR's presentation, they knew this is dated May 20th, it's after we allocated the amount of money.
Can we revote?
Yeah, the motion was withdrawn by, do you withdraw your second?
Yes.
Okay, so now there is no motion on the table. Is there a motion on the table?
Can you just ask a clarifying question? I wanna make sure I understood what you just said. When they all received the information and submitted these proposals to us, they knew that our budget was 24,000?
I believe that we had voted on it already at that point. We had already
Was it
voted and allocated.
disclosed to them?
I mean, I don't know. Amanda did the research for it. So do you know, Cassidy, if what Amanda shared with the different companies? She's not here tonight, so it makes it difficult. But one could go to our town council minutes, right, and see what we approved.
Yeah, I know we voted, but I didn't.
It's in our minutes for that.
Know whether they know,
Yeah.
you know. So it's over.
Yep, so here's my question, right, let me ask it this way. Do we think that the low bidder is qualified? Do we think that they're qualified to do the job?
I don't know.
So listen, that's right.
Based on this,
Based off this?
I think they're qualified.
Yes.
And they also fall within our budget, correct?
And they fall within our budget, and this is the group that CCM forwarded us when we initially asked CCM for a recommendation.
What towns have they represented?
They've done positions, but not town managers in
Okay.
Middletown, Seymour,
Meriden. Stamford.
Stamford.
And that's recent. I'm not sure. I can't find history on their town managers.
Or you can do what you said, Mr. Mayor, you can invite them all in for
Yep.
presentation.
So I guess so let me ask a policy question of the council. Would the council want to prolong the process and do it correct, not that this process isn't correct, but do it more formally. Have folks come in, do an interview panel with them, set up the interviews, put their bids in an envelope, or tell them that this is the cost that we're looking for, and have them customize their quotes to our cost, and then we hide their actual estimates. We do what our typical process is. This is what we did for the climate group, is we didn't see any of their costs. We just said, which one do we think is qualified, and which one is not qualified? And we pick the one that's qualified, and then we open the bid envelopes to see how much they have. We could do the normal bid process, but that is going to take 30 to 45 days. Because we need to set up the group, we need to put out the bids, we need to interview them all, and then we need to come back with our recommendation. It will be in the August council meeting, it won't be in July. So if that's what we want, we do have an extension with our town manager for every 2 weeks. I think we could do that, if the town manager is willing to continue to accept 2-week extensions. But I think, my opinion is, at this point, as a fiduciary to the taxpayers and with respect to all 3 of the groups, I think the Human Resources group came in with the lowest bid. They're recommended by CCM, and even at the hourly rate, they would have to do double the amount of time in order to hit the amount that the other 2 groups are quoting. So,
Mr. Mayor,
yep.
what if the highest bidder turns around, because you're gonna go that route, have them coming in and then have them give their bidding in an envelope? What if they come down being the lowest?
If we go through the formal interview process, that could happen. Now, again, you've said it earlier,
It's the
haste makes
45
waste.
days. Yep.
It's the 45 days. We would have to be fair to all the groups. We'd have to put out an advertisement in the paper or wherever we normally publicize it, allow the groups to apply, go through the process, qualify them, have a panel. You know, we at the last meeting, we said we wanted expediency, and we wanted a tight time frame of 3 months to get it done. That this is part of the trade-off for wanting 3 months to get it done.
All right, so why don't you do another vote again?
Okay, I'll do another straw poll.
I mean, like, some of these things don't cover things like, if there's a candidate who wants to come in, does the recruiting agency pay for it? Do we have to pay for it? Like, some of those kinds of questions aren't answered in here, and I don't know, I mean, that'd be an important cost.
Mm-hmm.
We did the culture study, we got taken over the coals on that.
We did get taken for a ride.
Yeah, so, I mean, those are some of the, I mean, it's tough, there's so many, so many unknowns, and this isn't any of our specialties, I don't think,
A
so.
lot of ifs, Jamie.
Yeah.
It doesn't say about whether or not they pay for the candidate to come in or not.
I think the
Just
SGR one does, but it might be an optional thing or something.
You don't have to pay.
Yeah, their cost is including travel costs for the candidates.
Maybe the others do too, I don't know, it's, like I said, there's a lot that maybe we don't know or think to ask about. Makes me a little bit, I don't know, it's tough. I think any of these guys would probably be qualified enough to do it. And some of this, it's how they present the cost that may be throwing off. So like the SGR one, it says up to. We don't know what the actual will be.
Well, with the
And then-
SGR one, let me just be really clear what they say.
Yeah.
They have a fixed cost, and then they have a moving target. So they have
Right.
a fixed, they said not to exceed a fixed fee of $26,919. The way I read that wording of fixed fee is that's fixed. That's the basement.
Right.
And then they have another 2,500 built in as a buffer for ad placements up
Alright.
to. So and then the not to exceed price is $29,419, which is more than what we have allocated.
I guess what I'm saying is, I'll stand by my original statement. I kind of, well, like you've reiterated many times, we've got a recommended service that's within budget, but I'm open to whatever works best for this group and for this town. If you want to go with the standard process, that's okay with me. It's just a question of time, and if we have a town manager that's willing to comply with that.
Yeah.
So,
James, where is this human resource place out of?
I think it says Seymour, but let me
Oh,
look.
in Connecticut.
They are based off of, founded in 1989,
They're based in Seymour.
Seymour.
Not Texas.
So they are,
No,
yeah,
they're local.
yeah.
They know the culture study, they know the right things that's going on in New England versus the one from Texas and that. One state might have a different opinion of one happens to the other.
Well, I think in order to, not necessarily expedite, but to get the process completed in a reasonable time, it appears that we have to go with something that meets our funding.
These are the two bids that meet our funding, right? These are the, not bids, these are the two proposals that meet our funding.
Yeah. So
Um,
I think it.
if we're gonna
choice
exceed
has
our,
to be one.
yeah, I think, I mean, I don't typically make motions, so if someone wants to make a motion for one of the two that are in the budget.
Yeah. I will make a motion for, to approve, human resource.
Second.
Motion was made by Jack, seconded by Ann. Any further discussion on that?
Is there any reason why we feel the urge to push this? Is it just time constraint, we wanna get time, okay.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a position that is very important.
Yeah.
We don't wanna get something like our
That's
first
my
one
point.
we had.
Well, listen, if the body wants to do the formal process, we can do the formal process. We had just talked at the last meeting about wanting to do it on an expedited timetable. The town manager's contract extension is flexible, but it'll be at his discretion if he wants to keep kicking around for every 2 weeks. That's, we're asking, I mean, yes, technically it's until we hire a new person,
Yeah,
but,
I'm asking you to give me 2 weeks.
correct.
That you're gonna let go.
Yeah, you're right,
I'm
you're right.
here
Yes, you're here until there's a replacement, you're right, but, so,
Not
we,
long though,
yeah, I understand. We can't chain you to the building, I gotcha.
I'm willing to work with the council.
Okay, so would,
As a taxpayer, I would like to see the best person come in.
yeah,
All right.
well, now we're back, now I'm back to square one. Sorry, everybody.
Well, no, we had a motion.
We had a motion, we had a second, is there any further discussion on it?
What was the motion?
The motion was for Human Resources Consulting Group,
All right. Somebody seconded it?
and it was seconded.
All right,
It was made by Jack, seconded by Ann.
okay.
And then I had to open my mouth.
And then
I'm so
Jamin,
sorry.
Dr. DeProto
I agree with you.
started
I
started
don't-
chewing the fat on it. I told my husband I'd be home by 9:30 for ice cream, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, but you said it was going
I,
so
I
well.
said it was going so well. Look what I did. Okay, we had a motion, we had a second. Any further discussion on it, other than me bemoaning the fact Dairy Queen closes at 10? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor of the Human Resources Group, please indicate by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, raise your hand. Opposed, any abstentions? Motion passes 5-2 for the Human Resources Group. Tony, if you will reach out to them and move forward with the next steps. Now, on the same topic, I would like to talk about who from the town council will work with the town manager and Human Resources to develop the process, because now there's gonna be some work that needs to get done. We have to develop the qualifications for the position, the compensation parameters, and start to think about, what we're looking for, right? Because they're gonna come in and say, we're gonna recruit a town manager, what are you looking for?
Right.
So,
You do have a job description
we have a job description, so I guess that part's done, but,
and the charter.
and the charter. So do we wanna have two council members work, be liaisons with the town manager as part of the search process, sit in on the interviews, all of those things? Yes, no? I would like to be part of that process, but I want your consent in order to do that.
If I may.
Yeah,
I would wait and see.
Wait.
What's recommended
by the group.
by the firm.
Yep, okay, so we'll let the town manager carry on with that, and then we'll move from there.
Because it may be the entire board.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. It may have to be all of us. And that's what the Board of Ed just did for the superintendent search. They just did everybody. Okay, so will we wait?
So the resources go?
Resources passed. New business, Cassidy, we had item N1, which is regarding the Eversource, situation. So, Cassidy will fill in the blanks here. So after the last town council or after Eversource announced rate increases once again, I was pretty outraged about it, as were others, I believe. And so, no, at least I believe others were outraged. I was outraged about the rate increases. And so I had posted on Facebook about exploring, looking into different kinds of actions that could be taken by the town council. The town of Vernon is circulating a petition about saying no to the heightened rates. And encouraging folks to sign on to that, so we could certainly sign the Vernon petition. I asked Cassidy to do some research on the assessment value of the Eversource equipment. The reason I asked her to do the investigation into it is because if, there are towns that own their own equipment and they maintain it and then they just purchase off the open market. Eversource, and you would have to buy from the utility company at cost. So the cost would be between 25 million and 20 million. Should we want to pursue that option down the line of, becoming like Wallingford or Norwich or Groton and have their own kind of plant, not plant, but their own, be in charge of their own utilities. The cost of entry would be the cost to buy off of Eversource, the value of their equipment, and that based off of the tax assessment, that's a good place to do it. Their full assessed value is the 25,780. So what I want to kind of get some guidance from on the council is, do you want me to continue to investigate, other alternatives to energy that is outside of Eversource and either put together a working group or just kind of do research with the town about what other options and levers we have to pull to try to break ourselves free of the monopoly, or do we want to just kind of plead to the state, like Vernon is doing a petition to say, hey, we need to make some changes, hey, we need something to change. We can do both. But what I was seeking is your feedback as a council on if you would want me to put something together or to come back at the next meeting with some more ideas about what we can do. I mean, the problem is, municipalities can create their own utilities. We have a water utility in town that is very successful and delivers water at I think a reasonable rate, as we do sewer as well. And we're not on MDC, we're on our own system. And that is where Mattabassett's our partner in that. It works well, it doesn't cost us exorbitant amounts of money, but the problem is that infrastructure has been built over the course of 100 years. This would be picking up somebody else's infrastructure and building on it, and that is, as we have always had these discussions on this body, is about how limited our funding is. $25 million would be exorbitant for the budgeting that we have and probably kill our bond rating and make us very expensive for a period of time in order to break free of the yoke of Eversource. But I'm happy to explore it, and I'm happy to have, put some brains to it to just see what other towns are doing.
You're offering up our own power grid?
So one of the things that I looked into is right now Eversource delivers energy to the town. They own the electrical wires, they own the poles, everything else. They don't have to. That is, municipalities can.
No, I know Wallingford has their own power company.
And the way that would work is there would be a referendum, and the residents would vote to decouple themselves and pay for it themselves and have to buy Eversource out of their equipment, and then we would be a free agent on the market that would purchase. I'm not asking us to do that decision tonight. All I'm asking is, do you want me to explore this as an option, or do you want me to explore something else as an option? I'm looking for feedback.
What did you say the cost of that would be?
25 million off of current assessed value.
25 million.
To buy their poles and their electric wires and their boxes.
You have to buy
You have to buy all their equipment from them.
What's the cost of building your own power plant?
Well, you don't have to build your own power plant. You buy from the Eversource doesn't generate their power. They buy from Millstone and these other places.
Is there a first step in terms of, I mean, I know Cromwell is not the only town that is outraged about this. The governor's speaking out, the AG speaking out, other towns are speaking out. Is there a first step to kind of determine how many towns are doing a petition and, you know, is there a collective opportunity that we can harness?
Right, would there be?
I would need your feedback and kind of consensus for me to go and start that process,
I
so.
would like to do that first, you know, and then certainly continue the discussion about our own power source, and there's many ways, you know, to think about that going forward. But I think it seems reasonable as a first step to, you know, look at what other towns are doing in terms of voicing their outrage.
Yep.
And
So
harnessing that.
what I'll do then is if the council's okay with it, I'll reach out to Rocky Hill, Middletown, Berlin, and Portland, see if the neighboring towns are doing anything in particular, and ask if they want to work with the town of Cromwell to explore whether it's a petition or a protest or,
Yep, a bit of a collective
yeah.
of sorts.
So I did a little research when Cassie mentioned it. First of all, Connecticut Light and Power, which Eversource is, would have to be willing to sell. They don't have to sell, unlike the streetlights.
Okay.
Then if they were, it's, the towns that you're referring to, most of them go well over 100 years.
Well, it's just like our water department, right?
Well, they're getting there, yes. Although it'd be a lot easier. At any rate, you could look into it, but, you'd have to establish your own administrative office, similar to the water district. You'd have to have power crews, you'd have to have personnel. So,
No, I'm not trying to suggest it's an easy solution. What I'm trying to, what my concern is that we know the system is broken. The system is broken systemically, right? It's a systemic problem. And we continue to do the same thing, hoping for a different outcome.
I would urge this council to submit a letter.
A strongly
in
worded letter.
protest.
I love.
And not only, I mean, I'm talking to the governor, to PERA, they're the ones that are gonna end up signing off on any rate increases. And, I think it's time to draw the line.
We wrote, a year and a half ago, we wrote another letter that made, I think, significant, I think it went viral, the letter that we did 2 years ago or a year and a half ago when they had the millstone and the whatever else it was. I remember that. We wrote a letter and we all signed it. Do you want me to write another letter? I can do that.
What was the result?
If I may suggest further, I think your idea.
I think they told us to calm down.
I mean,
possibly doing it in
has a
conjunction
strongly
with.
worded letter ever changed Eversource's rate
Well,
hike?
there is
Because-
one strongly worded letter that I can think of that did change history, but we are not in Philadelphia.
Right.
So.
You may
We
want
do
to
have a
talk to
broken bell.
Rocky Hill in Portland also.
Sorry, he made a joke about our $20,000 bell, so I'm just gonna let him go ahead,
It's
Tony.
gonna
what
be
was
a
that?
beautiful bell, by the way.
I know it's
Of course
gonna
it
be
is.
a
Bottom
beautiful
line
bell,
is,
I know.
I think you might wanna talk to Rocky Hill and Berlin, also.
A conglomerate of towns would be
So
nice.
let me do that. Let me send a letter out to our neighboring towns and also draft a letter of our own and see if the other towns want to work together on something. Okay.
We had consensus, or at least, you know, a coalition of towns. It just gives us more momentum, more strength, more, and, you know, like I said, I think the governor is on our side, I think other elected officials are on our side. People are outraged.
Matter of opinion.
Yeah.
Well, the governor can do something about it if he's so outraged.
Has come
He doesn't
out
need
and
a
said-
strongly worded letter from us.
But I think it's
He-
important for us as town elected officials to make our voices known.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying we're gonna change the world, but I do think it's an important, measure for us as a town body representing the constituents of Cromwell to show that we are doing something.
Grouped in with
Yeah.
other towns.
So what I'll do is I'll put together a letter for us internally, and then I'll also reach out to other folks. What I will include in there is information like Eversource posted a $1.69 billion profit last year and delivered a 23% increase in shareholder returns. It paid its chief executive $13.5 million, which represented a 19% raise. So that's based off of public disclosure documents. So they're making money.
What does CCM do? What is,
Say, what is
what,
CCM? Could they say?
CCM.
do they not have a conglomerate, do they not represent municipalities?
Their executive director released a statement calling on the governor to reject the rate increases.
We still have time to make,
I know, we still have time. Kevin is texting me as we speak,
Blizzards.
asking what happened at 9 o'clock. Sorry.
And we could probably do it today.
He just texted me saying, so I guess you're not done then. So okay, I'm in trouble. Okay, so I will write a letter, send it around to all of y'all for review. I will also reach out to neighboring towns, see what they're up to, see if they want to co-sign something or do something collectively to look into it. Okay. I'll now move on to approval of the minutes, items O1 through 3.
James.
Yes.
There are two sets of May 13 minutes. There's only one listed in the agenda, but there's
Let
a
us
a
see.
special and a regular meeting, so we need to approve the one that's not listed as well.
Let me pull out the minutes. She's right, you're right, you're very, very correct. So there's a May 13th, and a May 27th. There is not two May 27th. So let me start by correcting the minutes, or
No,
correct.
there's two May 27th.
Okay, so can I have a motion to amend the agenda in order to reflect a May 13th special meeting? We'll call it item 1A. Made by Al, second by Jamin. Any further discussion on that being a mid-meeting motion? This does require 2/3 approval to change the agenda mid-meeting. So all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention? Okay, now there is an O1A. So may I have a motion to approve items, well, there's some people that weren't at all these meetings, so we'll have to do them by date. So can I have a motion to approve item 1 and item 1A for the May 13th, 2026 regular meeting and special meeting? Al. Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next is the May 27th public hearing and the May 27th special meeting. Can I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Made by Al, seconded by Paula. Was everyone absent? Okay, yeah.
No, I can't.
You can't and Ann can't.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Now we're moving on to appointments. Senior Services Commission, D. Doxy is going to be reappointed for a term ending on the Senior Services Commission, 6/1/28. Can I have a motion? Motion made.
Second.
Second by Jamin. All those in favor, please, any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Reappointment to the Cultural District to Rosemary Mattis for a term expiring 6/1/28.
Motion approved.
Made by Al.
Second.
By Jack. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. In resignation, Kashmir Amira, DEI Committee with regrets.
Motion approved with regret.
Al? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jamin. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Informational items. As we have discussed, we are now a CT Bronze certified community. Thank you, Mr. DeProto, Mr. Popper, Mr. Armstrong, and Ms. Fay, and the rest of the committee members for that. We will now be endeavoring for silver. And then the other informational item I have is I want to invite the council to an event that will be occurring on the 23rd of June at 2 p.m. at Woody's Ice Cream Shop. The Lieutenant Governor will be joining us for a presentation regarding the cultural district, and the potential approval of, so if it may, she's gonna be announcing something there regarding the cultural district, so I think.
And it's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing, so I would encourage that the council, if you wanna have some midday ice cream, there is some money in the, mayor's, budget for events, so we're gonna be buying, I think, $100 worth of ice cream. We're
Not too much, but we're gonna cover it.
Okay, we're gonna cover it. The Senior Services is doing an event as well, and I'll donate whatever the remainder is that needs to get covered. Okay, I'll donate it from my huge salary, but okay. Yeah, ice cream stash, that's right.
James, what is Senior Services doing as well?
They're gonna be having, like, buses running from, so
Oh,
seniors can come and attend.
For this cultural district.
So in other
Correct.
words,
thing, okay.
You can get on the bus here, Paula, and.
I can drive now, Tony,
Oh,
so,
no, you come right down and we'll buy you an ice cream.
thank you.
There you go.
Maybe two.
Okay, so,
You got it.
I don't think Dairy Queen's happening, but that's okay. Any other informational items from the council? Graduation is on Thursday night, tomorrow night. I think everyone should have gotten invitations for that. I didn't get one this year, but,
We used to get them.
I may show up. I don't know.
The good day.
No, I don't know. I wasn't invited, so, I'll leave it to the, I'm joking. Alicia Gooduty did text me and invite me and let me know I was invited, and it was an oversight that we didn't receive invitations. We are welcome. Any other informational items?
No. If I may, on that, what you're talking about, I see on Facebook, a lot of people are upset because
It's
they're
rain or
not
sh-
allowed to go to attend the graduation because they just limit the amount of tickets.
That's nothing new. They've been doing that for,
There's a lot of people upset.
they've been doing that for many, many years. They did that in 2011 when I was in high school. But it is rain or shine this year, so even if it rains, it's outside. So they made the decision that it's rain or shine outside. So bring your ponchos. It's supposed to rain tomorrow night. So, can I have a motion to adjourn at 9:41? Made by Al, seconded by Paula. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, while we still have sanity. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you all. We're adjourned at 9:41.